Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the listeners of today's Anime Palette Podcast. We are going into...
Anime Palette Podcast?
Yeah, it is today's version of Anime Palette Podcast of the good variety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good Anime Palette. Okay.
It is today's 44th episode of today's recording with today's hosts, Will, and today's hosts, Jason. How are you doing today, Jason?
I'm doing fine, my man.
I'm only saying this because I only just finished watching Tatami Galaxy and some time machine shit going... No, not Tatami Galaxy. Tatami Time Machine Blues. That shit has been around my brain because I'm still trying to see where all that time machine fuckery is happening.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
you watched episode... You haven't watched episode 3 yet, right?
No, I only watched first episode.
You haven't watched second episode?
Nope.
Yep. It's good so far. We'll go into that later on. So, yeah, how are you doing after a nice lunch? Big pizza?
Food coma is kind of kicking in a little bit.
Kicking in, right?
I'm kind of not regretting the decision, but I kind of just like this could end relatively sleepy, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean that's why we'll probably have a break in between, catch some Z's, and then go into the nitty gritty of today's discussion topic. But before we get into that, we finally have some more reading and watching shit we're gonna go over because I have actually found some time to watch some stuff. Jason has been watching a lot of stuff too as well, so I think...
Actually, opposite. I have not been keeping up with summer seasonals very much.
Who cares?
I haven't been even finishing some of the spring seasonals that I want to finish.
But you watched Cyberpunk Edgerunner.
That I did, and hopefully I will finish that too.
So you're more than halfway though, right? You're on episode 6?
6 or 7.
You finished episode 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I finished episode 4.
I started 7, but didn't finish it yet.
So how is Edgerunner? How's your experience of watching Cyberpunk Edgerunners?
So Cyberpunk Edgerunner is based on the tabletop role-playing game series Cyberpunk, which is not something you hear as a source. It's also based on the video game Cyberpunk 2077, developed by CD Projekt Red, who did the Witcher video game series. It premiered on Netflix as an exclusive on September 13th, 2022. Produced by Studio Trigger, and a total of 10 episodes, all released in its entirety. Will, let me lay the groundworks for this, which is going in. When I first heard about this news, the biggest eye roll I've ever seen in my entire life.
How could you see your own eye roll?
That's how
you just looked into the back of your head.
Exactly. So that's how I'm just like, oh, whatever this is. Then I thought about it some more, and I'm like, you know what? I like Studio Trigger. They're a relatively small studio comparatively to some of the other more well-known studios. I mean, I would say Studio Trigger is very well-known, but I would say their size is relatively small.
You haven't been running that long either in comparison to most of the studios we talk about as well, right? If we're not including the Gainax history behind it.
Yeah, especially so, right? Because technically 2 different companies, but a lot of the same people. The thing is, I was like, maybe they'd cash it in. Basically, just like how Netflix commissions a whole bunch of shows, just cash in your check, so then we can do the shit that we want to do.
Big name property, right?
Right.
On a big name streaming platform.
And because there's multitude of influences from either CD Projekt Red with the video game and also with potentially, I don't know, the original tabletop role-playing game publisher. I don't know how that works, but I just thought like having opinions from every which way, including the Netflix thing, is a bit like, oh, this is going to be super iffy. Imagine my surprise when not only is it very good, it is essentially, an 8.77, like top 50?
I think 800,000 members on my anime list as well. So extremely popular, extremely well received.
And also, everyone in my workplace is talking about it.
Yeah, like people, all my friends and the people I work with as well are also like, they don't watch a lot of anime, but definitely. 200,000 members, not 800,000.
Yeah, 231,848 members, and also rank 37, popularity 885.
Top 50, and it only aired like 2 weeks ago, September 13th, actually.
Yes,
as of recording.
Yeah. What is your take on it, Will? I think you should go first.
I like Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I think it's a very well adapted show. It's clean, it's vibrant. The music is really, really good. I'm very happy that they used This Fire from Franz Ferdinand for the opening. I'm a little bit iffed that they didn't use the chorus for it, but I mean, I just like Franz Ferdinand. It's a good intro. The ED is also very nicely done as well. The animation sequences are trigger as heck. There's a bit of a trigger lag that I've seen in many trigger properties.
What is the trigger lag?
It just doesn't look smooth. You see it a lot in Promare. You don't really see it in Kill la Kill, but it was quite noticeable in Trigger.
What about Little Witch?
Well, I mean, Little Witch wasn't necessarily...
Oh, wait, I do know what you're talking about. Okay. I thought that was not with Promare, but I thought like that kind of like jittery is a little bit deliberate.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it.
Ah, fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
You know, I mean, maybe it's just me being like super spoiled by Madhouse and Mappa and UFO Table and David Productions and all that, but you know, like it's there, so I'll have to appreciate it. Story wise, it's well, I'm only on episode 4, so I'm not that deep into it. I haven't finished it yet, but what I've seen so far is it's a very competent show. It's very neatly put together. I enjoy the character interactions. The voice acting is pretty good. I will admit though that I think that the current score of 8.77 is too high. I'm very happy to keep it at like a flat 8 from my perspective. It's a very good show, but maybe it's just because I haven't watched enough yet. Maybe I haven't watched the latter half of Cyberpunk Edgerunners to be able to conclusively say that this is an 8 or a 9 or a 10 or whatever it may be. It's definitely not a 7 and below. I don't think it's mid at all. I think it's good. I just also feel though that because it carries a certain level of hype, that I was going in with higher expectations, and at the moment it hasn't quite reached those heights yet. It's still a good show though. I have no problems in terms of watching it, maybe even recommending it to people. But I feel that I don't need to recommend it because literally everybody that I've known around me that even watches any anime, plays any video games, or even knows the name Cyberpunk would already have watched some of it, if not all of it. So yeah, I'm pretty comfy with watching the anime adaptation of Cyberpunk so far.
All right. Look, I have a huge Studio Trigger bias. Everyone should know that by now. Will definitely knows that by now. And I also like cyberpunk genre a lot. Ghost in the Shell, Psycho-Pass, even books. I read like Neuromancer, stuff like that. I really like the genre, Blade Runner, all of that. I think the show's really, really good. I also think it's a tad overrated. But I'm also extremely pleasantly surprised by the product that ends up being made. I think also because even if I had that Studio Trigger bias, I had I had negative expectations. I was expecting this to be the stepping stone for whatever they're doing next, which turns out to be Delicious in Dungeon Meshi. Actually, for that one, I was more hyped at the time, and still is actually, because technically Edgerunners are already out.
I'm looking forward to Dungeon Meshi as well.
So I have to say that the production value is they did not cash it in, phone it in.
I mean, it's a Netflix budget for sure.
Yeah, and they really is everything around it, from the aesthetics, from the cyberpunk aesthetics, and I guess tying into the game, because I haven't played Cyberpunk 2077, which a lot of people are surprised by. But
Neither have I.
But that's mainly because I heard there were a lot of bugs, and some of it is still present. And but I heard the game has vastly improved since then. Okay. A lot of people who watch the show just kind of like it as it is, and it kind of caught a lot of the hype train, the momentum. I think the momentum is very high for this show. I think the score will normalize maybe in like a couple of months,
or it might just keep going higher.
I don't.
It will. I mean, like if it reaches a 9, that'd be blasphemous for me. But then again, it's like I've already said how I feel about the show. I like it. I don't love it, but at the same time, I don't think it's just anime fans that are going in to watch it as well. It's also the cyberpunk fans. It's also people who are a fan of that particular genre as well. So if it scratches that itch for them, then I think it would still be well received in some aspect.
Because I think I could go on and on about the cyberpunk genre by itself. So there's no need to do that. I think for example, the issue that I have, one of them, the most actually, is the dub, the English dub. One of the things that I've discovered, because I switch back and forth with the English-Japanese dub, is that the Japanese dub plays the characters more straight and subtle in terms of like reserved, whereas the American English dub is basically a bunch of angsty teenagers going on a rampage. And I think it is less accurate to the tone because there are subdued moments in the show.
Yeah, but that's always that kind of conflict you would have with sub versus dub anyway. I wouldn't say that I haven't experienced in watching Cyberpunk Edgerunners with any dub, but I mean, would you say this is any different from other dubs? Because they also fall foul to not being able to encapsulate
I think
certain
Super
character
Crooks
expressions.
was really bad, but because the disparity was really high. Whereas here, it's just like, I think it's just the wrong take, but that's also a subjective opinion. Anyways, I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
I'm very sure that
9 out of 10, but you said that the score right now is a tad bit high.
Well, yeah.
8.77.
Yeah, because 8.77 as like an overall general score, top 37 of all time.
Yeah,
it's kind of high.
But that's what the score. I mean, what you're giving it would also put it into that range too, right?
Well, given the context, I think
like personal score. Like, of course, it's you're gonna have like a little bit extra because in the end, like what everyone else thinks versus what you think are not like mutually. They're not going to be the same, right?
I just think a cyberpunk anime that is done well, maybe not excellent, but done well, does not come about all the time. You add in that flair that I like about Studio Trigger. I just like it a lot. And I heard that the ending changes a lot of people's opinions, some negative, some positive. There won't be a season 2, apparently, because
it doesn't need it.
It doesn't need it. So, look, I'm very happy with what resulted, because I literally had no expectation. I had worse expectations going in. But, Will, instead of turning back time...
We are turning back time for this one.
Exactly. So, Will, let's
go into some Tatami Time Machine Blues.
Yeah.
So this dropped on the Disney Plus platform around 2 weeks ago. It is going to be around 2 weeks ago, running at 6 episodes, and of course, it's Science Saru. Now, interestingly enough, Tatami Galaxy wasn't produced by Science Saru. I forgot which studio that did it, but this time around, we have a continuation of the Tatami universe. Not just one singular galaxy, but everything else that goes beyond it. So it still retains the core cast of Tatami Galaxy. So with Watashi, Akashi, Ozu, Higuchi, Hanuki, and also Jugasaki. So the main 6 cast of the original Tatami Galaxy lineup. And this time around, it's more of a singular focus. When you watched Tatami Galaxy, it is sort of like a Groundhog Day independent story from each other, whereas this one is just one whole long story, one whole long series focused on one specific incident, but with many, many wacky things that happen everywhere and in between. So, I've watched 2 episodes so far, even though, if you look at Mal, all 6 episodes are already out. Technically, on the Disney Plus platform, you can only access 3 of them. So maybe they had early releases in Japan, and then worldwide, it will be a little bit later. But as of now, as of recording, there are currently 3 episodes, with 3 more to come out. Interestingly as well, whilst the first episode is a regular length of around 25 minutes, the subsequent episodes, second and third episode, are 16 to 18 minutes, a lot shorter. So if you take out the opening and the ending, the runtime itself is actually closer to like 14, 15 minutes. It's really short for an anime. It's not like not super short, because you've seen like 3-minute anime before. Not like that at all. But
It's not an anime short. It's just a shorter full-length episode.
It's a short anime, not an anime short. Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, there you go.
So I like it. I like it so far, but it definitely doesn't have as much of the original Tatami Galaxy charm to it. Like for me, I'm always going to be biased towards Tatami Galaxy because it's my favorite anime of all time. But for you, you very much enjoyed watching Tatami Galaxy. I think you like it a lot too. Like you hold it with high regard.
I gave it a 9, yeah, for sure, and I really like it.
So how did you feel going into watching Time Machine Blues?
So I think the convergence of, hey, we're releasing the actual novels it's based on in English, and by the way, here's a sequel, and by the way, it's by Disney Plus. A lot of these things kind of perked up a lot of curiosity in me. And I think Tatami Time Machine Blues is Tatami Galaxy Light. Furthermore, I would akin to if Tatami Galaxy, the anime itself, is during the school year, Tatami Time Machine Blues is like summer school.
The summer break.
No, it's not summer break because
it is a summer break.
Still,
they're
No, technically they are on summer break. But what I mean is like if summer school can be like less intense than the full, school year. That's how I feel. Everything is there. The right ingredients are there. Characters show up again. It's a lot slower pace as well. So that's why it gives me that kind of like summer chill vibes rather than the full on.
It doesn't have that real fast paced monologue that you're accustomed to from original Tatami Galaxy. Sure.
So I watched the first episode first between the two of us, and I was like, oh yeah, they started with a monologue again, and you were like, yeah, but like it's not that fast. And then I kind of like blew you off or something, or like, yeah, but still a monologue. I had to listen to the first like 30 seconds of Tatami Galaxy episode 1. I was just like, okay, well, you're right. Like, I knew it, but like, okay, fine, you're right.
It's a lot slower. I mean, in the second episode, they open up with a monologue as well, and they do pick up the pace again. But it's very clear, and it's like, of course, it's clear that they're two completely different things, even though they're tied within the same universe. But I feel that whilst I enjoy watching Time Machine Blues, it doesn't have the same kind of characteristics as Tatami Galaxy. Now, it's not fair to compare the two because one is incredibly highly acclaimed, and the only one, in the one we're talking about right now, only just dropped like 2 weeks ago. So like the verdict is still out there.
But I think the fact that it is considered a sequel, like because it's officially a sequel, not only based on the original novel, but is hailed as a sequel. Expectations is like the inverse of me with Edgerunners, which is I had high expectations going in, and I came out relatively okay, but not like, oh, Tatami Galaxy was really good. This is less good, but still good. Like,
it's still good. And you know that like it's not fair to say this is nowhere near as good as Tatami Galaxy because I don't think it tries to be. Very clearly, it's like you said, a condensed version of one specific story split across 6 episodes. So the style of the story, the way it's delivered, is day and night compared to Tatami Galaxy.
I still think I would finish it, and I would probably, if I had to guess, give it an 8.
Yeah, I think 8's a fair number. I wouldn't give it anything higher than that now.
Like it's above average, but not excellent or like mind blowing.
And it would be consistent with how generally other people feel about
it's like 7.5?
7.85.
It got higher.
Yeah. It started off kind of okay in the beginning, and it's slowly trending in a more positive direction. But yeah, no, 7.85, very respectable, right? I mean, of course, like the score for Tatami Galaxy is way higher, but again, 2 different things.
Now, I feel the need to explain to you the plot of Tatami Time Machine Blues. Now, you might think, Jason, you're about to spoil the story for me, but just hear me out. Basically, summer vacation is happening, and the main character, his air conditioning unit is broken. And
the remote for it is broken.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
The remote for it is broken. And they have to fix it while they were trying to find ways to fix it because, by the way, it happened because of a party foul by one of the returning characters.
Spilling soda on it.
They found a time machine.
Yeah.
Hilarity ensues. basically.
All the characters that you've known of from Tatami Galaxy act the same way as they did in this series, and if you, it's again, it's very clear if you like Tatami Galaxy and you want more of that stuff, that this is a competent entry into that little Tatami sphere. I'm happy that it exists. I'm happy that I'm watching it.
Yeah, I'm happy it exists too.
Whether or not it would exceed what I currently say right now in the next 4 episodes, once I finish it up, in total like 6 episodes, we'll see. I'm pretty certain that I'll feel the same way as I did when I first started watching this, but you never know. The thing with like Tatami Galaxy and the thing with Science Saru is that they're not afraid to put little twists within their series to turn things on their heads, and whether it works or not is very much up to your perspective. I'm a little bit more warm to how Science Saru does stuff, but at the same time, I'll also be the first to acknowledge that sometimes they try a little too hard and it doesn't necessarily work.
All right. So we basically, time will tell whether or not it, is good or not. Stands the test of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm happy with it. I'm looking forward to finishing up the next 4 episodes and see where I'm at with it.
All right. Now, I feel a little bit bad because I'm getting a bit of a food coma, but I'm gonna wake the fuck up. I'm gonna stand up, or not stand up, but like lean more towards the mic, and we are gonna go straight into our news section. I'm gonna sound way more enthusiastic than before. I apologize.
You're open up with something that you are very, very happy about. Not that you didn't expect it to happen, but the fact that it's confirmed now makes you a very, very happy Jason.
Guys, Dress Up Darling Season 2. Woohoo.
New sequel for Dress Up Darling. And as well, there's also some stuff about Rascal Does Not Dream.
That's the one I'm actually more excited about, to be honest, which is Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai is getting a sequel anime that is adapting the 8th and 9th light novel.
Now, I still haven't watched Rascal Does Not Dream. Nothing at all. But it's also one of those, like, the less I know about it, the more I'm going to want to watch it. I think it's just, sometimes I like going blind into certain things, like not really knowing what to expect and then just letting it happen and then be either pleasantly surprised or let down. It's all part of the experience.
All I will say is Bunny Girl Senpai, the TV anime, has the best, one of the better openings of that time. It's so memorable, and when I hear it, it's just Bunny Girl Senpai. The romance is super awesome and genuine and actually develops, and the movie is also fucking good.
And then there's going to be another adaptation as well, this time not from a manga or a novel, but from a manhwa, talking about Lookism. So Lookism is a manhwa series that I think debuted not too long ago, and interestingly enough, the studio that's going to be adapting it is Studio Mir.
November 20th, 2014.
So, okay. So, a month from now, basically. 2014. No, 2014.
Yeah.
That was when it came out.
Yes.
Okay, so never mind. Read that wrong. So, it's been around for a while, actually. But the score for the manhwa series is pretty phenomenal, actually. It's 7.9.
Yeah, rank 896, popularity 433, but only 33,000 members. But here is the thing, as Will mentioned, it is done by Studio Mir. So, for those who don't know, actually, Studio Mir is first of all a Korean studio,
South Korean
studio, and they are also known for doing like in between work and outsourcing for the most part,
or stuff that is like produced and like aimed to be outside of Korea, but not necessarily Korean properties.
Yeah, I think they have like some Western-oriented shows.
I think they worked on. Was it that Mexican show that was on Netflix? There was something that was of that ilk. But anyways, Studio Mir, Lookism, Netflix. We knew about the Mir contract that they had with Netflix and pumping out work for them as well, whether it was like a standalone property or working on in betweens. But yeah, no, this is a Korean sourced series adapted by a Korean studio. It's as Korean as can be. So it's basically like a literally a Lookism-esque show where an ugly boy, young but unattractive, chubby, all of a sudden becomes hot after like being bullied for 17 years of his life, and now he's top dog. I think that's about it, really. Like, is there anything else to add to it?
Actually, there is. So he doesn't transform. There are two bodies. There is his chubby body and his hot body. And they basically, when one sleeps, the other one wakes up. So basically, for a while, like, they had to figure out how to balance the life. And to my knowledge, and I forgot because I've watched the trailer a while ago, is that I think the body actually just lies there. The other body.
So it's not like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing.
No. And I think like bullying is a big part of it. Like a very big part of it. And the thing that I also am a bit iffy on is based on the limited information that I know, which to be fair is very limited based on the trailer and the synopsis. It's just like, oh, hey, take off your glasses and then you're all of a sudden a hot girl. Oh, hey, you're a chubby girl and then all of a sudden you lose weight, even though that is a way to, make yourself healthier. Then all of a sudden everyone notices you and starts paying attention. Even if that's a fact, right? It's still like a bit like, really? Like,
well, I mean, what did you expect though, right? Like, there's always going to be shows that look for that glow up, right? Whether it's by looks, by power, by knowledge. It's a simple premise. I'll give you that, but sometimes it just works.
And there must be a reason why the ranking is so high. There must be a reason why it's so popular.
Because it could inevitably make people feel good. It might have that real good, like, feel good factor on it.
Yeah, maybe there is some wholesomeness to it that I don't know because I actually didn't read the manhwa. And hey, who knows, however long it is down the line, I'll eat my words. But as of right now, the only thing that makes this newsworthy is that it is Studio Mer, and the fact that Lookism apparently is a big deal. Or a big-ish deal. You okay?
You just hating on it now?
I'm kind of hating on it, actually, now I think about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Just with the premise?
I saw the trailer also. It's just like, I'm just like a very whatever about it.
But if it was a Japanese story done by a Japanese studio,
no,
nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
It's just in the end, like, it's a simple premise, simple story. Whether it's good or not, you're not really bothered by it.
Yeah, you can change the names, but the dude is still going to be alone and solo level up, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's future. That's future. That's
levels
future.
Up his looks.
That's future. We'll
get into that in maybe an episode or two. Now, this is not necessarily a adaptation announcement, but rather a continuation announcement. Hunter x Hunter is back on the air, but not anime form. It is back on paperback. It's back on the yeah. Well, it's technically on the air. I mean, like, it's streaming on, like, would it be on the Jump Plus platform? Who knows? But anyways, Hunter x Hunter will be getting a new volume. Finally, a new volume after 4 years. And yeah, whoever's been running the Twitter page for when will there be a new chapter of Hunter x Hunter, you can finally turn off that Twitter account now because they're back. Hunter x Hunter is back in full motion. That's about it, really.
Yeah, I have not kept up with Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, as I like to call it. And then, but I guess it's good news, right?
I mean, like, I've watched all of the new Hunter x Hunter. I read a little bit afterwards, after the election arc. But since then, no, nothing. But I'm happy.
Speaking of arcs, the next piece of news is not a surprising one. It is about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. They have now committed to saying that they will run for half a year without breaks. So that's already, like, pretty dope.
Straight 2 cours, right? 24 episodes or so.
Right. And it's going to cover 2 arcs. I can't really read the first one. What's it?
Kagokyu
and Gyokusetsu. Ah, fuck me.
And then the Shibuya incident.
That's the one that I'm more interested in because that's the one that everyone fucking talks about.
Nobody stops talking about, like, oh, I can't wait for them to do Shibuya. Shibuya's going to be fucking lit. It's like, well, here you go.
Legitimately, how many times have you heard, oh, Jujutsu Kaisen is like crazy at the Shibuya incident, the Shibuya incident, the Shibuya incident?
14 times. I made that number up, but it's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot. No, I think, like, as much as like the hype for Jujutsu Kaisen has been, I mean, like people like won't. I think the opening for Jujutsu Kaisen was the most streamed songs on Spotify.
The one by Eve?
Yeah, the movie Kika Kentan or
Yeah.
and then the movie Jujutsu Kaisen Zero,
Which we watched in the theaters,
was really good,
really
and, like,
solid.
You know, pulled in like really good box office numbers. So the hype train for JJK is still ran strong. So with the news now that they're going to be adapting, you know, consecutively for 2 seasons, and also be covering the Shibuya incident arc, like if you aren't a JJK fan, you better be one now, I suppose, because a lot of even more hype shit's about to happen.
Our next piece of news is about Naruto and Bleach.
Good old Naruto and Bleach. What good stuff's happening to them now?
So, Will, do you like Naruto?
I love. Okay, it's a hard answer, really. Like, yes, I do love Naruto, but at the same time, I also hate Naruto.
Do you like the fillers?
Yeah. If you have no fillers whatsoever, then yeah, I love Naruto.
Do you like Bleach?
Love hate?
Do you like
Strong
Netflix?
That's a very strong love hate as well.
So earlier, as in like a couple episodes ago, Will mentioned a news story where Naruto is going to be on Netflix. That's great news because literally being able to watch a very nostalgic show and a very good show for the most part, minus the fillers, is a good thing.
But time is running out.
Because basically Netflix has announced that on October 31st, Naruto, the anime series, will be leaving Netflix. Right when it entered, it leaves. Then on the other hand, Bleach, the movie Fade to Black, and Bleach, the movie Hellverse will also leave, but this time 2 weeks earlier on October 14th. So get your weekly shonen jump binge on.
The
basically.
thing is, like with that article, it says the Naruto anime will be exiting the Netflix platform, but by title, Naruto and Naruto Shippuden are separate.
Really? Oh shit! I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering. Then is it the whole anime series of Naruto is off, or is it just Naruto and Shippuden will still be on there?
Which, to be fair, if I had to kill one and save the other, it would be Shippuden.
I would love to just keep Shippuden because Shippuden was great. Shippuden was fucking fantastic. But hey, look, like I know there's still a lot of diehard Naruto fans. So the fact that like they'll even like stomach some Boruto. Apparently, Boruto does get better. So
wait, seasons 1 to 9 of the Naruto anime. Which one is that?
That'll be non-Shippuden. That'll be the beginning.
Guys, Shippuden is still on the menu, boys.
We don't know.
No. It says here, Netflix revealed on Tuesday that seasons 1 to 9 of the Naruto anime will leave the service on October 31st.
Because like Shippuden as well. Shippuden has 500 episodes.
Yeah, so it's not Shippuden then.
Shippuden, I guess, is still on there. Maybe now it's like it's a sign.
Yeah,
If you haven't watched Naruto now, what the fuck are you doing? Finish it off now. Otherwise, we're going to take that off, and then we're going to take Shippuden off at some point.
Or maybe the numbers didn't add up, but the ones for Shippuden added up because everyone literally didn't care when they were kids.
Or maybe Netflix did the smart thing and said, you know what? Like, here's all of Naruto and Shippuden, but we cut all the fillers out. So we're saving you like 300 episodes that you don't need to watch. I doubt they did that, but like, look, the point of the story is just go and watch your Naruto now because you have around 4 weeks until the shit leaves the platform. And then you'll be wondering, well, what the hell happened in Shippuden? Well, you wouldn't know unless you start right fucking now to finish up your Naruto, then get to Shippuden, and then ignore Boruto.
Another cut, but this time through Adult Swim, is that they have committed to stopping the streaming of Blade Runner Black Lotus, Shenmue, and Fena Pirate Princess.
You watched some Fena, right?
I really liked it. I thought the story was meh, but the look and the feel and the comedic beats were pretty good.
Neither of us watched Shenmue because as much as we know how historical the Dreamcast game was.
Did you like Shenmue the game?
I never played it.
I played the first one, but I was never really like into it.
I don't know. It seemed to be really big in the U.S. for some reason.
Yeah, because forklifts.
Yeah.
Only Shenmue fans will understand what I'm talking about. Forklifts are dope.
But you never watched Shenmue the animation, right?
No, I never did. So, but here's the thing. The reason why this, in my opinion, is newsworthy is because Adult Swim, and I guess Toonami, right, is the one that made this deal with Crunchyroll, for example, to do Blade Runner to do Shenmue, to do Fena, and essentially they're just saying, yeah, that thing, we don't want it anymore. It's not even like we don't want to continue the partnership or whatever. It is we want these things outside of our house and not affiliate with us whatsoever. I don't know what the decision is behind that, but to me that's just a very unfortunate news, despite the fact that I feel that all three of these shows are middling at best with Fena and really bad with Black Lotus, because I actually watched it. Shenmue I actually don't know, but it doesn't sound like it was very worthy either.
It could just be that the productions themselves don't earn Adult Swim and Tatami any money,
or the license ran out and they didn't want to renew it. There's plenty of reasons, but
I mean, there was that whole kerfuffle with the whole Warner Media and like the whole acquisition of like because Warner Media had went through like a bunch of shit when it came to like streaming platforms. Maybe the Tatami stuff was just a casualty amongst that. Who knows? We don't know any of the business decisions that happen behind the scenes, but it is weird that they decided to cut this shit. Not that I cared about Shenmue the animation, or I guess to some extent Fena as well, but I guess watch it before it's gone, or find some way to get it.
Look, guys, we have talked for about 35 minutes, and we may have sound lethargic and a bit of a food coma, but guess what? We have now got to our final news story. We have saved the best for last, and we are now reintroducing the baka of the month.
It's probably the bakas of the month because of how many people are involved in this.
We might hurt some people's feelings.
And we don't. Well, I don't care.
Well, if you are an avid listener, we do care, but later.
Yeah, we'll care about you later.
Or hey, no one's perfect, right? So this part of you is just a little bit like sus, but okay. What is the story, Will?
So some of the listeners here probably don't follow us on Twitter, but I can guarantee that some of these listeners will be part of the 1 million Twitter followers of Shonen Jump, because in celebration of the 1 million followers on Twitter, Shonen Jump decided to share the news to everybody and include a picture celebrating this accolade.
Wow, really? Shonen Jump, 1 million? That's great, reaching that milestone. And having like sort of like a exclusive picture, right? Yeah, that sounds great, Will.
Yeah, so the tweet reads out as, wow, 1 million followers. Thank you so much for following us, reading our manga, and watching our anime and supporting Shonen Jump. You're all wonderful. And there's a bit.ly link at the end of it. So that's on the @Shonen Jump Twitter. And it reveals a picture of specific characters that are amongst the most popular, the most loved, the most coveted of the Shonen Jump universe.
Okay, wait. So let me think. So Haikyuu just ended. So Kurasuno, right? They're there, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Death Note's super popular, so L or Kira would be on there. Nope.
Wait. JoJo is.
Yeah, JoJo's technically running right now, but
Bakuman, right?
Bakuman was extremely popular in the day, but if they didn't have anyone from Death Note, they're not going to have anyone from Bakuman.
What about like Assassination Classroom
or Dr. Stone?
Dr. Stone,
Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah. Or Dragon Ball, right?
Captain Tsubasa.
Yeah. Like they're there, right? Because they have been there since the beginning. They kind of built the foundation for Shonen Jump, right? Right.
The 5 characters they have
5
are Deku from My Hero Academia, Luffy from One Piece, Ichigo from Bleach, Chainsaw Man, Denji. Is Denji, right?
It is Denji, yeah.
And then, of course...
Well, technically it's Denji and the other... It starts with P, the name of the little dog.
And Tanjiro from Demon Slayer.
Okay, so... They showed these 5 people. These are all very well-known Shonen Jump properties that are relevant now. Either there is an anime incoming, or there's a lot of hype. So what's the issue, bro?
Where's Naruto?
So
where's Goku?
Yeah, but like, look, it's just the whole point, Will, is to celebrate.
Why is there no one from Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah, no, but Will, it's just to celebrate a momentous occasion, dude. Like, don't.
I'm going to quote.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say the Twitter handle, but. We got a kick out of that one. I find it completely disrespectful and frankly unforgivable that you didn't include Asta in this photo when Black Clover has single-handedly carried your magazine since its release. We wouldn't have Demon Slayer or Chainsaw Man if it wasn't for Tabata's brilliance. Shaking my head.
Basically, regardless of how you feel about these 5 characters being on the image that celebrates this momentous occasion, this milestone for 1 million followers for Shonen Jump Twitter, the whole internet kind of went apeshit. Some are like, yeah, man, Bleach is back. Ichigo is fucking front and center, is going to be fucking awesome.
The GOAT of all time.
Oh, Demon Slayer is fucking wrecking shit. Yo, bro, it's awesome. But Chainsaw Man is coming up with Mappa. I'm so hyped.
But with only 5 characters to pick from the whole like pantheon of Shonen Jump, you're going to piss off a lot of fans.
And basically that's what happened, because a lot of people were just super pissed that, like, why are these 5 chosen and not my favorite one? Or why is it just these 5 and not all of them? Or, you know, all of that. And
I mean, there is one very simple answer for that, right? My Hero Academia and Bleach, as well as Chainsaw Man, are all debuting and airing their new seasons right now.
Furthermore, One Piece is still happening, airing right now as we speak.
The longest running Shonen Jump series, the longest running anime series currently airing, and it's also One Piece.
Demon Slayer has literally increased the amount of money the anime industry earned that 1 year that Mugen Train came out. Plus, they announced a new season. Okay, it hasn't debuted yet, but season 2 just ended.
And you can't ignore the accolades it's gained like in the last year as well.
Youthful Table's fucking dope. Nezuko, I guess, will always be adored by everyone.
But then there's also the question of...
No, Asta, bro. Asta, man.
Yeah.
Single-handedly. Look, I'm not going to diss Black Clover any more than I just did just now. I have a friend who actually watched Black Clover quite religiously, and he even admits that in the beginning it's really fucked up and like really like annoying because Asta just screams all the time. But he says that later on it does get very hype, right? So look, Black Clover, I think in general, because I haven't read it, you get a pass, right? But the fact that this guy was, or this woman or whoever is like, yo, did you know, Will, that Shonen Jump single-handedly was saved by Asta?
The other
audacity.
Yeah, the other gripe I have with that article, though, is the fact that Screen Rant decided to say it was a controversial image, when really there actually isn't any controversy attached to it. It's just the fact that it didn't feature your favorite character, right? Like, it's no wonder that Shonen Jump decided to put those 5 characters front and center for this particular announcement. But I don't feel like it's worthy of being angry about. Maybe I'm just not as like offended by it, therefore I don't think it's a controversy. I'm not on the side that feel it's controversial.
I'm going to quote the article from screenrant.com, which we will provide in our show description. Quote, "The image is just one example of Shonen Jump making a statement about its brand, but the priorities shown in the image are interesting in that context. For example, it is worthy of note that the image doesn't go out of its way to showcase any of the magazine's female heroes." Look, okay.
Well, I mean, the same way that you're talking about there's Tanjiro, but there's no Nezuko, right? But we're not trying to defend Shonen Jump here. We're not trying to say that it isn't worthy of having any female representation on there. But the fact of the matter is that Shonen Jump has always been a publication that's geared towards young male adult readers. A lot of times the properties they have, the main characters are popular young male characters. That's just how it is. If they were to feature more female characters, I wouldn't have any problem with that whatsoever. It's just in the end, if you look at popularity rankings for a lot of shonen characters, it just tends to be that the male characters are at the top.
Will, I can do you one better. You ready for this?
Oh, you're going to show me
The
some...
Oxford language
Yeah,
defines shonen as a genre of Japanese comics and animated films aimed primarily at a young male audience, typically characterized by action-filled plots.
It's just Screen Rant stirring controversy from nothing, really. I don't know. It's just egregious that they had to go out and say it's a controversial image when literally it's just them trying to celebrate the fact that they've got 1 million followers on Twitter.
Look, I mean, I guess it is slightly it is controversial in the sense that like people are saying like, hey, how come like Promised Neverland Emma is not on there? Which, to be fair, I'm like, for female representation, like she's a solid choice, like for real. But like, the fervor of like basically instead of waifu war is shonen war, right? Shonen MC war, right? That aside, so that's already a bit like, do you really have to go to that extent to literally just shit on someone's, this company's milestone? Like, you don't have to say that. You can just be like, oh, cool, or just whatever. Then there is Screen Rant's interpretation of, hey, why is there no female representation when, historically speaking, there's just not a lot of female main characters? And furthermore, shonen's, traditionally speaking, is aimed at a very male-centric audience. Now, does that mean then, therefore, like,
there's no room for women?
That's
not what we're getting
Or does that
at.
mean that there's no women that read Shonen Jump? No. But shit stirring the pot for no fucking reason is just like the biggest, like, I'm running out of ideas, so I'm just going to make chaos, like that Key and Peele sketch with the Pegasus.
There's also another thing I can say. Why is it that Screen Rant is focusing on the lack of female representation when we don't talk about the lack of racial representation? Why are there no black characters that are featured on that picture? You know, it's in the end, like, you have to understand the context. There has historically been not that many female main characters in Shonen Jump properties, so that's why it's not worthy of stirring controversy when such a thing never existed to begin with.
How about this? Whoever wrote this, which we should not mention the person's name just because we don't want any attacks. Not that we're that influential whatsoever, but I just want to like meet this person and being like, okay, then what would you do? What would you pick? Would you just not pick anything and just have a logo? I mean, and the message? I mean, yeah, sure. Actually, that would solve all of these quote-unquote issues, I guess. But at that point, you're like...
You're pandering at that
point.
You're
coddling, like, everyone. I am of the firm belief that there should be more female representation and more female main characters. In fact, one of the animes that we're going to talk about in the main discussion topic is the first in an anime franchise to feature a female main character. And Will and I are very, very, like, vocal about fair representation of anything, for that matter. But, bro, don't start shit.
Don't bring something up that never existed to begin with. It's just not fair on anyone's, like, plate right now. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Like, reporting on the fact that everyone is having, like, a flame war on main characters, okay, fine, because... you didn't cause that. You're just merely reporting on it. And it is a bit controversial because that's the whole reason why everyone's all uppity. But then I'm sure like maybe someone mentioned it. But to then out of nowhere be like, yo, but what about women? What about girls? Kind of like when, to my knowledge, at least in the article, was never mentioned anywhere else in terms of a tweet, in terms of an actual discussion. What are you trying to do, bro?
I get it's an observation, but it's an observation that carries a lot of negative weight that honestly wasn't even the center of focus for this particular controversy.
All of this is because Shonen Jump just wanted to celebrate a milestone. That's fucking it. Look, I'm like, actually, like, I'm way more pissed. I thought I would be way more pissed about the fact that everyone is pointing fingers at each other, so who should be included in the image? And now I'm actually like angry at the author.
But that's understandable. Where it's like you will have a favorite character, and you'll be wondering, well, I mean, I like Tanjiro, but I would have preferred to see Nezuko on the cover, or I really like Bleach, but I like Naruto more, so it's disrespectful that Naruto isn't on there.
Okay, it's basically akin to something like Waifu War in the sense that everyone. In fact, I would say Waifu Wars is even more of a bloodbath, right?
Yep.
But what happens when all of a sudden everyone is arguing about their favorite waifu and then someone comes in and says, well, what about, like, transgender characters or something like that? Or, like, what about, like, females that are actually, like, monster girls or something? And I'm just like, at that point, I'm just like, guys, like, they're all could be good characters. They all could be bad characters. Don't just single out one detail and just, like, try to stir shit up for no reason.
And like Jason's brought up as well, and I've brought up too, the fact of the matter is Shonen Jump picked these 5 characters because 3 of those main characters are going to be airing this season. One of those main characters is the most historic, most long-running, most successful anime and manga series of all time, and the other one is just breaking records. And if you haven't heard Demon Slayer, I don't know how. There's a reason why it was there. It's plain and simple.
Oh, and by the way, extra knock on people who diss Demon Slayer. The series has ended for fucking forever, and it's still doing gangbusters, okay? So, really, look. This is such a baka of the month for literally everyone involved. Less so on the fans because...
There's you can understand.
To be fair,
right?
like, yeah, if it was like a waifu thing or like any other like JoJo thing, I'm sure you and I... Well, now I'm in this conversation now, too, with JoJo's. Like, we would just be like, bro, that like, no. Or like that's not what I would do, and have this kind of discussion.
I'm completely fine that Jotaro Kujo is not on there because I understand that like he hasn't been airing in any anime and manga recently. It's his daughter Colleen that is now in the the spotlight for the JoJo franchise. If she was on there, I would have been very happy too. If she wasn't on there, I wouldn't be fussed because in the end, I'm not making a decision to post 5 of the most popular main characters of 5 of the most popular series of all time onto an accolade representing the milestone that Shonen Jump has achieved on Twitter. That's it. That's literally it.
Quick side note. I really, really want to watch Stone Ocean, but I know we have to do it in sequence, and I will, but I just really want to watch Stone Ocean because everyone is like going apeshit about part 2, and I'm just like, I really want to get to there.
Stone Ocean's really fucking good, dude.
God damn it.
Really fucking good.
What is part 7 called?
Part 7 is...
Which one's
Steel
Ball?
Ball Run, that's part 7.
Then what is JoJo Leon or whatever?
That's part 8.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And then speculatively, JoJo World will be part 9. I don't know what the hell's in that one, but
Universes collide.
That's probably what's going to be. Because it goes through a cycle, which you'll figure out once you get past 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
All right.
So, that rounds up the news. So we will...
I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent.
It's not really a rant or anything. It's more just like, this is like commentary on like the landscape of quote-unquote controversial news. And the fact that most of the controversy didn't exist until someone decided to stir the pot.
No. Well, to be fair also, who knows how influential that one statement was from this one article, right? But... Why have it there?
Because it's provocative, because it's controversial, and it guarantees clicks.
I swear, if like someone plays devil advocate and says, "Then I don't support women's right or whatever," I'm just gonna fucking deck them.
No, that's not even like what we're trying to get at all. You can misconstrue that, then that's on you.
All right, we should take a break.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna chill the fuck out
and also process all the food. I think you've woken up now, right? You've awakened.
Oh, dude, that really invigorated like my brain muscles, and now it's starting to work, starting to refunction. But I do need to take a chill pill and like just like take a walk or something.
Tap out for now. Just tap out.
Tap out, which is what we're gonna do.
All right, time out now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the second half of this Good Anime Palette podcast episode. This is episode number 44. I woke the fuck up. I have decided to chill out for a bit and then, I don't know, not do 100 push-ups and 10K and stuff. But
trust me, we didn't use the whole break just to talk about who we would have picked for the 5 characters for Shonen Jump's announcement of 1 million followers on Twitter. That is just wasted air. We're not going to do any of that shit. What we are going to do though is go into today's discussion topic, which is a bit different from the usual seasonal formats we've done before.
We're doing a seasonal?
So in the past we've done seasonal reviews and discussions of summer, spring, winter, and beyond.
We've done a year retrospective as like our episode 2, I think.
We're now going into fall 2022. But it's a bit different because if you haven't noticed in terms of when this episode is airing, a lot of the seasonals have not released yet. In fact, I think only a handful have only dropped their first episode the preceding weekend to today's recording.
So why are we doing our seasonal review when a lot of shows are actually not airing? Well, that's a very good question that you asked, and I will now...
Mr. Random or Mrs. Random listener?
I will now tell you our opinion on that answer, which is, A, it just so happens because we do recordings I think every 2 weeks. We have either you'll wait a long time, or we would be in the same situation that we are in now. The other thing is because, well, Will has certain familial commitments, which rightfully he should. And we decided to also, on top of all that, the third reason is try to experiment a little bit and see how this format will go. And maybe we will do a combination, or maybe we'll ditch it all entirely. We're not entirely sure, but we are going to try our very best to deliver on this episode.
So the usual format is we will be releasing these episodes maybe 3 or 4 weeks down after a season premieres, which means that most series would have had a couple of episodes to air. We would have watched some stuff, given our 2 cents, and then sort of give our estimates on how the rest of the season will pan out.
Right.
However, this time, it's a lot more different because, as we said, a lot of stuff hasn't aired yet. So how the hell are we supposed to know if these anime series are going to be any good?
Right, because if our sort of argument or rationale is we want to watch quite a bit in order to give you our thorough opinion, well, now you're doing the polar opposite of that. You're right. And the reason is because I think that there needs to be some sort of middle ground, and we're trying one way, essentially.
A lot of times I think it's like, even though we do and this is something that Jason does a lot, and I've also started doing as well. We usually do the 3 episode rule, right? You let the seasons air. You watch the first 2-3 episodes of a season of a series, and then afterwards you'd be like, I liked what I watched so far. This is good. It's meeting my expectations, or maybe exceeding my expectations. I will continue and give it a positive score. Or after 3 episodes, I haven't really been moved yet. There really isn't anything to indicate that it could get any better. I've got a lot of other stuff I need to watch. I'm going to put this on hold, or, wow, that was utter garbage. I don't want to waste any more time on this. Drop that shit. So this time round, though, because of the fact that we're all on the same page, we all have the same amount of anime we're going to watch before we even know what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks throughout the season, we will give you the best rundown and pre-analysis of these shows to at least give you an idea of how you want to get started with fall 2022.
All right. So, but before we actually go into the fall seasonal stuff, we need to resolve our summer 2022 side bet.
I didn't want to do this, but I guess we're going to have to. So every season we have a little bet between the two of us at the Good Anime Palette podcast where we try and predict the amount of series that attain a MAL score of 8.00 and up. And every season so far, I have been shit. I have not won a single season, and that trend has continued. In the last season's bet for summer 2022, I had bets that there would be 4 and fewer shows that were 8.00 and up. Jason predicted there would be 6
or more.
And, well, the cutoff point is when the first episode of fall airs. That's when we stop counting scores, and that's when we start deliberating who is the winner. And, yeah, there are exactly 6 shows from summer 2022 that have a score of 8.00 and up. That includes Love Live 2. That includes, what else does it include?
I wrote it down.
Okay.
A Made in Abyss Season 2, 8.81. Licorice
Recoil?
I really want to say Licorice, but Licorice Recoil with 8.33. Overlord Season 4 with an 8.18. Classroom of the Elite Season 2, 8.17. Call of the Night, 8.16. Love Live Superstar Season 2, 8.09. And
there were a few other shows that were in the top 8, and there were 8 and above, but then slipped down, or some that were slowly and gradually getting there, but by the time cutoff point started, it hadn't reached there yet. Shadow's House Season 2 is a 7.99.
And Uncle Isekai dropped from an 8+ to currently a 7.93, I think mainly due to the fact that the new episode is not going to be shown until mid-November.
Yeah, so it's not out yet. Now, there were not really scares, but there were points where the scores for Classroom was dropping, the scores were Call of the Night was dropping, but, strong rally to the end of the season, and now they're pretty comfortably in the 8s. So, yet again, Fluffy Senpai Jason has won yet another seasonal bet.
but that doesn't mean that I am invincible, because this time around, similarly with instead of doing a review, we're doing a forecast of the fall seasonal. We will do a new betting system for the fall seasonal bet for 2022, and let's see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll go into that later on.
Yeah, that'll be the last thing that we do. So we will now, because we actually don't have any real stats other than a few stuff here and there, we will skip all our pre-ramble on the stats and general performance.
Because you already have heard it before from previous seasons anyway.
And go straight into our fall forecast. So how we did this was we collected a pool of shows that either we were interested in or it received a certain amount of members before it aired to kind of indicate to us on my anime list that it has a certain amount of anticipation and hype. We would then watch some of their trailers or PVs known as promo trailers, promotional materials,
preview videos,
promotion videos, PM. Look, that's what we got. And I think actually you'll be pleasantly surprised at actually how much one can learn from without actually watching the actual episode of the anime. And that, in fact, is one of the things that I've learned.
There are actually a couple of those things that we're going to be talking about in this preview that we're genuinely excited for. Like,
absolutely.
And then there's some that are like, to be expected. But at least knowing from watching the previews helps to affirm whether we feel or not this is going to be something that's worthy to be on your radar.
Because in the past, how I would do that is I would wait to see what others say and then jump on the bandwagon, or literally watch every single premiere, which is kind of nauseating because not a lot of stuff usually make the cut.
I mean, you remember summer 2021 last year when we had to go through a whole droll of like not that really good shows.
Yeah, but that was somewhat funny because the shows that were bad were horrendous. We call them dumpster fires for a reason.
And we also did find some stuff that was like, ooh, this is actually pretty neat. I quite liked it. I mean, like, I wouldn't have watched Akiba Maid Uniform at all.
Dude,
but
such a good show.
Yeah, such a feel good show.
Such also lewd ass perverted show.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some issues with that show. But hey, we're not talking about that shit anymore. So we're gonna go into
you leave Akiba-chan alone.
We're gonna go into the sequel announcements and sequel series for fall 2022 first, because the less said about them, the better, because you already know what to expect. And then we'll go into the brand new stuff that is airing on this season. So to kick things off, and we'll also be doing this in release date order as well.
Okay, so then therefore I need to move our first show that we're going to talk about to the very front of the line, and that is My Hero Academia Season 6, which is supposed to air October 1st, which is FYI today when we record.
Yep.
So I think it's in the nighttime. So
you've heard this already. You've heard this already.
Come on, guys.
We love seasons 1, 2, 3. Season 4
I like first half of 4. I don't like the second half, which is basically what's called Gentle Criminal.
Yeah, the Gentle Criminal.
Something like that.
Or the Criminal Gentleman. Something like
Criminal Gentleman. I don't forget. It was just so. I just thought it was a very bleh.
Season 4 did end pretty hype though. I did like the ending to season 4.
That's the concert, right?
There was a concert.
Yes, because it was a school festival.
And then Endeavor was also really involved in it as well.
To be fair, yes. That did set the stage for what the future direction of the hero kind of
the realm
sphere,
of hero association. But unfortunately, neither Jason or I watched season 5.
And apparently a lot of you guys didn't either.
Or if you did, you didn't enjoy it.
There you go. So season 6 is here. Let's see how it goes. My prediction is it will continue to not be great, but whether or not it is worse than season 5, we don't know.
Do you feel that My Hero Academia is just running out of steam?
It is, yeah.
Because it's very one-dimensional, right? It's just basically, kids who want to be, all-knowing superheroes trying to save the world. But after a while, that kind of appeal can run dry. To the point where, I'd much rather, if Vigilante, the spin-off,
that's what I want.
That's what I would want to see.
That's what I want, because it sounds like it's My Hero Academia and Kick-Ass combined.
It's exactly that. That.
I think
maybe with less of the Mark Millar kind of snarkiness.
Yeah, fuck him. Okay, I don't think that My Hero Academia is doing too good these days, mainly because I felt that the stakes are relatively low. And that's why I thought the midpoint of season 4 felt kind of refreshing, because not only were there a slew of new characters, what happened to some of those characters were actually quite tragic.
Yeah.
But somehow lessons were learned, and it doesn't mean that it was a clear defeat, but not a clear win either. And I like that.
So if you've watched season 5 and you enjoyed it, then absolutely no reason to not watch season 6.
All the more power to you, honestly. Like,
if you were kind of different about My Hero Academia, this as for you and me, is a skip. We would skip streaming this.
The only thing that I would go back to for season 6 is if everyone just won't shut up about it, then I'll be like, fine, I'll watch season 5. Like, I guess we'll watch it on 2X, and I will probably put it on
2X, 3X, whatever the platform allows me to.
Just like inject it into your brain.
There is going to be one though that we're not going to be watching at 2X or any speed enhancements, and that would be the second part of Spy X Family.
Season 1, that is correct.
So,
airing today.
Now, when we watched season 1, we knew, of course, because we read the manga on Jump Plus, what direction it was going to go.
Which you can also read at Jump Plus and Manga Plus.
It's still airing there. So, the thing that Jason and I talked about as well was the way that the first part ended was a bit of a letdown, but that didn't like really deter a lot of people from wanting to continue watching the show anyway, because every other episode before that was fucking bonkers.
I honestly felt that the finale should have not been the finale, and they should have ended on that like cliffhanger, like extra credit scene.
Or what they could have done was push for no breaks and just done full adaptation of season 1. So
no, but they needed a rest. That's the reason why they split it.
They needed it, but like if they had just done episode 12 and then went straight into the next episode without having that cliffhanger lull in between, then maybe it wouldn't have as much of a score drop. I understand though the break is needed.
You know what I would have done? I would have released it as a special in between.
But then again, right? Lack of break. I think
no, but it's just one episode within that break that you can always make before the summer.
Yeah. Well, the decision was made, and now we're waiting for the next episode to drop in a couple of hours.
Look,
actually,
I'm just going to tell you straight up,
it's going to be so fucking good.
The characters that they have already announced. There's one character that is my favorite that has not been announced, but I guarantee you will be there.
They haven't announced the voice actor for them, right?
For that character, yes. But if you watch the trailer, so this is not a spoiler, the handler has also shown up in the first part. She gets a bigger role, which is good. The first major incident / story arc of part 2 is actually a relatively good one. And
relatively, oh, dude, it is good. It's great.
Because what is great is the addition of a particular cast member. That's all I'll say. That is literally all I'll say.
Hold on to your butts.
And the name of this cast member also, Primo.
So yeah, enjoy some peanuts and watch some Spy X Family Part 2.
And maybe Anya will get that extra star, right? Or was that Demerit is the Thunderbolt?
Yeah. Oh, I love Anya. I can't wait to see this.
Isn't Thunderbolt like a good thing, kind of?
No, because if you get struck by one, you die.
What happens if you get struck twice?
Then you're lucky.
Okay, so 2 negatives become a positive, right?
It's got to balance out somehow.
Yeah, okay. All right.
On to the next one, which is a personal favorite of mine, Golden Kamuy. They're going to be releasing Season 4. All right? So
on October 3rd.
Same thing, except this time round, rather than being done by Geno Studio, it will now be produced by Brainspace.
I want your take on this because, okay, a studio change may not necessarily be a big issue because, hey, for example, in my opinion, the Attack on Titan transition was fine. I thought, of all things, to compare Attack on Titan to in the same sentence, High School DxD was okay.
So I'm going to say this, when I was watching the trailer for it, because it's Brainspace, I was like, this looks exactly like the style of To Your Eternity, which actually, funny enough, we'll be talking about that later on as well.
Spoiler alert, To Your Eternity is not done by Brainspace. Part 2 is.
Yeah.
Or is it Season 2? Or
Part 1 is, Season 1's done by Brainspace, Season 2 is not anymore. So that's why I was
that
was the interesting observation. It's like, oh, I guess since they're not doing To Your Eternity anymore, maybe that's why they added that aesthetic.
Let me ask you this. Would you take To Your Eternity over Golden Kamuy, you personally?
No, in what context? In terms of like, if I was to say which one was better, which one I would like to watch more of.
Well, okay, that's a good question. I meant like hypothetically speaking. Let's say that the creators of To Your Eternity came up to you, be like, "Yo, you did season 1. We thought it was pretty good. We thought the reception and everything was great. You want to renew the contract and do season 2?" And then while you were about to sign, you're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. I need to just think about this real quick. Maybe call some friends."
And then the exec of the company opens the bathroom door.
And then you leave to go to the bathroom. You know, because Will, you're a guy. You go to the urinal and you do your thing. Then all of a sudden, next to you is like, "Psst, psst, psst. Hey.
I heard you like Golden Kamuy.
Do you like bears? Okay, you may not like golden showers, but do you like Golden Kamuy though?"
Funny enough, there actually are golden showers in that one.
Oh, shut the fuck up! Really?
And I think there is not specifically golden. There's some weird stuff that happens in the manga.
Do you want to hold the reins on content that was that the previous people like decided to cut out completely?
Yeah.
Do you want to have that decision to include everything you ever wanted?
So the thing with like watching the trailer though, like, whilst I also enjoyed the aesthetic of what Brainspace is trying to do for season 4, it was also great that the particular trailer, this is the one that I accessed on my anime list, the narration, or at least like the sound clip they got from a voice actor, was all done by fucking Ken Suda.
Okay,
it's just unfair. It's just unfair that as long as I hear Ken Suda's voice, I'm going to love the shit out of whatever I'm watching.
Okay, confession
Which is,
time.
I guess, also why I kind of like Edgerunner, because Ken Suda's in it too.
Confession time. I did not watch the trailer because it's season 4, and I'm pretty sure I will watch or read season 1 too.
No, it's fair if you don't watch the trailer for a sequel that you haven't like been kept up
and
with,
season
right?
4 at that too, right?
So I knew. Seriously, I don't know what happened in season 2 and season 3 because I read the manga. So I don't know how like, but when I was watching season 4, I was like, okay, I'm not spoiled of anything.
Okay,
yeah, but
it's done, by the way. The manga series, listeners, the manga series is over.
I'm confident that Brainspace will be fine. I don't have much of an issue with that. So yeah.
Wait, how many bears?
There's actually no more bears now. Because the worst...
Shit,
because
times have changed.
Yeah, the enemies are the humans now.
Will, do you remember back in the day when bears were the thing?
Never forget season 1 of Golden Kamuy. I'll never forget that.
We will then move on to our next show where we will give our undivided 100% attention because it is Mob Psycho 100 Season 3.
Based on the manga of the same name by 1.
Boom.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right? It's still Studio Bones. It is probably the final season.
So you told me that this would likely be the final season, or like maybe there's a movie or something afterwards, but like this is like the final stretch, right?
Yeah,
like, you're sure?
I'm certain. I don't remember where I read it from, but I'm pretty certain that we're getting close to the end game here.
So it's essentially a complete adaptation, or all like basically, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that the fact that like we've seen a lot of it already, and then the fact that season 3 has it took a while for season 3 to come out, but the fact that it is now like literally on our doorstep, I am hotly anticipating it.
Did you
not wait?
You know the theme song for the 3rd season?
I haven't listened to it. No.
Mob Choir still doing it as they should. It's now called 1. So I think the first one is 99 and then 99.9, and then now it's just called 1. Numero uno.
That is like the consistent thing that you will never see different with Mob. The openings are always going to be 100. They're going to be lit. They're going to be fucking...
The English is not going to make sense, but I'll fucking love it anyways. Yeah. Okay. There is nothing else that needs to be said other than season 2 was the fucking shiznit. Will liked it more.
I have not heard the word shiznit in so long.
Yeah, I was about to say the shit, and I was just like...
The last time I heard shiznit was when I was watching Red vs. Blue. That's how long ago this was.
Oh, damn. Jesus. We're like dating ourselves here.
Right, so October 6th is the air date for Mob Psycho 100 Season 3.
Right.
And then 5 days later, we will then have the airing of...
Oh, wait.
Oh, you want to talk more about one?
Do you think this would be a 100 out of 10?
You know how much I love Mob Psycho.
Do you think that this will theoretically be less than a 10 because season 2 was a 10. I gave it a 9. Season 2.
I know that we have a lot of good stuff coming up for this season, but I am confident that Mob Psycho 100 Season 3 will be my personal top 3 anime of the season.
Season 2 was really, really good. I do not want to, not say that.
Yeah,
it was so touching.
We're not underplaying it at all. We literally love it.
There was a press conference scene that I don't think I'll ever forget in terms of anime, period. It was so good. Smile, tears.
Best siblings in anime?
Brother from another mother, man.
Yeah, they're great. Okay.
We now move on from psychic powers to complete...
demon powers? Well, I mean, I don't know what the world of Bleach holds in terms of their power levels, but...
It's a 1,000-year blood war, man, on October 11th, where they have committed to do 4 split curs. So that's at least 40-something episodes.
And if the announcements of the adaptation weren't clear enough, the trailer is also literally flash in your eyes. Final arc, final adaptation. This is the end of Bleach.
Oh, hey, do you remember all these characters? Hey, guess what? They're all fucking back.
What was really funny about it as well was in the subsequent episodes that we've recorded for this podcast, it's not so much that Jason and I were talking shit about Bleach. It was more
I was talking shit about Bleach, though.
But talk about shit about Bleach in terms of how broken the story plot is and how they get cop out in terms of doing get out of jail free cards for characters.
Repeats. Yeah. The same shit, different day.
But you will also admit, along with me, that when we were watching the trailer for Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, it looks legit.
It looks pretty good.
It looks pretty legit.
I'm not gonna lie. Because I think also because obviously it's been a considerable amount of time since.
Did the nostalgia hit you?
Yeah, for fuck sure it did.
Right. And again,
when there doesn't
change the fact that it's still egregiously bad when it comes to pulling characters out of sticky situations.
There was a line in the trailer that I saw because there are multiple trailers, right? Because obviously they hyped the shit out of it. There was one line during that whole trailer, and it was Ichigo, please save the Soul Society. And I was I lost my fucking shit.
Because for a lot of people, the Soul Society was the last arc that they watched before they dropped Bleach, or at least within my friend circle.
And right away, they cut no bullshits with the trailer that I saw because they showed all of, I guess, the good guys in black, showed all the bad guys, I'm assuming, in white. No, I assume that they're all the bad guys, in black and white, and being bro, this war... And then, boom, 1,000-Year War. I was just fuck yes. So I don't think I'll watch it, though, after I've hyped up and said a lot of compliments about it.
But we are excited for the Bleach fans that have been waiting this long for the final adaptation to come out.
But I will say that if the score and the reception for this is so high that it extends past nostalgia...
It might be time to rewind the clock and actually catch up with some Bleach.
Or maybe just YouTube... a summary up to that point, because to be honest, I actually do know a good portion of it already,
the Bleach in 5 minutes kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that kind of thing, but maybe not 5. But
there's a lot of those.
Was it I think there was 2 seasons, 2 arcs. Past
there's a lot of those.
What's the Hollow one?
There's that's the Hollow one was after
Aizen
arc.
So then
and then there's the Arankar arc afterwards,
and then
I think it is the Quincy arc,
and then
it's the 1,000-Year Blood
War. Okay. There's those 2 arcs were the ones I did not watch.
Okay.
I watched the Hollow one. I was just fuck this.
Again, I'm not sure if I'm accurate, but
I'm not sure
there's a bunch of stuff in between Aizen and what we're on right now.
Basically, I'm pretty sure there were 2 major seasons or arcs that I did not watch that I need to technically consume before 1,000 years. So.
Right. So did you though?
I'm quite hyped though. I have to say.
Did you therefore then on a different note? Consume all of season 1 of To Your Eternity. There you go. But you would have anyway if you had time, right? What led you to drop or put it on hold?
Because I read the manga.
And did you like the manga?
Yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I quite liked it. Yeah.
So are you excited for To Your Eternity season 2? That will be premiering on October 11th.
23rd.
23rd. Sorry, wrong one.
You're Bleach is 11th. So. instead of Brain Space, who did the first season, which is 2 cours, like 24 episodes.
And then now doing Golden Kamuy. It's now.
That's why I asked you, like, hey, hypothetically.
Yeah. Well, Studio Drive is now taking the reins for To Eternity Season
Which is
2.
a very young studio with 7 accredited works, with only 3 of them released, which is Vlad Love, which I watched and which I thought was weird but kind of okay. And I think it was done by the Ghost in the Shell creator. Teppen, which I didn't watch, but I heard very blah.
Yeah.
And Actors, Song Connection, which I'm guessing is an idol thing that I've never heard of in my entire life.
They're also working on Uzumaki, the Megumi spin-off movie from Konosuba, and also Season 3 of Konosuba.
Yeah, so those 3 things are pretty cool and hype, I guess. All I can say is I actually am not sure what Season 2 will cover. I don't think they announced 2 cours or 1. I think they just said, Season 2.
Do you think that 2 cours might be too much for such a young studio?
100%.
Yeah, so likely 1 cour, but you wouldn't be surprised if they do a split cour.
I think there's like 16, 17 volumes out.
There's a lot.
So if you were to do a 2 cour show, so 4 cours for Season 1 and 2, you would pretty much exhaust all of the English releases for the manga. English release manga. By Kodansha, by the way. You can read them.
So you feel that if people who are like up to date with Season 1 to Eternity, they should be okay with Season 2, but because you're coming in from the manga perspective.
I think, I mean, it's hard because To Your Eternity is also not a very straightforward show. It's also super weird.
Yeah. I remember the first 2 episodes were really fucking weird.
But it's also quite touching.
Actually, no, not weird. They were really depressing, actually.
The first episode, especially, everyone loved to bits, and then when they realized that that's only a section of the real story, everyone just turned their minds off of it. So I can't blame them. I think it is a wait and see, but again, I'm not holding my breath. But I know the content would be good.
Yeah. So that covers the sequels of fall 2022 that we're going to cover because, we either enjoy it.
Will. We got Season 2 of Uzaki-chan, right?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to hang out with her. I don't want to hang out with her.
Double, bro. Double.
That's right. Once is already enough. And then welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun Season 3. It's an okay show, but it's not something that I think we want to spend too much time on.
Because we actually haven't watched Season 2 or 3. I think I've watched part of Season 1.
Same here.
But the score is really high, I remember, right? It was an 8+, right?
The one I do actually want to watch would be Pop Team Epic Season 2, but only because it's just a wacky, weird-ass show.
We watched the first episode of Season 1 together during a lunch while we were recording.
Several weeks ago, yeah.
At the office, actually.
This is actually not several weeks, like several months ago, actually.
Yeah. And
it's weird.
I don't know what the fuck I was watching, but I was like, yeah, sounds like an Adult Swim type show.
You ever played WarioWare?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Oh, dude, it is.
It's like that.
Because the look is not consistent. Sometimes they do 8-bit. Sometimes they do 3D rendering.
Things don't make sense.
They have tons of references. Yeah,
the references are great, yeah.
Look, if it turns out to be good, I don't think it will veer that much in tone.
It's not a show you binge. Absolutely not. Because your brain will rot. Right? You just one of those things where it's like it's 3 a.m, you can't sleep, you just need something to just take your mind off things. Watch that. And then you'd be like, I'm so weirded out, I can finally go to bed now.
No, be like, I'd rather have nightmares than look at this when I'm an insomniac.
It's not a bad show,
No, it's not a bad show. I'm saying,
it's
like,
just a very weird
if
show.
you are not like fully aware and sane while watching the show, your mind will unravel ever so slightly.
Right. Now we're going to go into the new stuff that is originals or fresh adaptations that are airing this season. Some stuff that, we're very, very hype about, and some stuff that we don't really know too much. So we might just, spitball and just go through some of these very, very quickly.
We might be wrong, by the way, with these takes.
Remember, this is just a preview. So whatever we say here might not last a whole season. By the end of it, we might be saying, oh, actually, XXX anime or ABC anime is actually really fucking good or absolutely terrible. We were wrong about this.
So basically, what we're saying is, whenever we are right, we are right. Whenever we are wrong, we are.
Who could have thought that?
Yeah. Whenever we are wrong, we're giving you the opportunity to
be better.
To be better. Exactly. Thank you, Will. You see, that's why I'm putting down. You're picking what I'm putting down. The first show is actually a show
that already aired. Actually, yeah.
September 24th, which is I'm the Villainess, so I'm taming the final boss, also known as Final Boss. I guess it's not an isekai, kind of is. And I'll explain why. So it's based off of the light novel of the same name.
Of course, it's a light novel.
By Sarasa Nagase, who did the story, and Mai Murasaki, who did the art. I copy and pasted the name twice.
Produced by Mahu Films.
The light novel is published in English by Yen Press. Also, the manga adaptation is completed with 3 volumes. And by the way, I finished all 3 volumes ages ago. Produced by Maho Films, who also did...
I'm Standing on a Million Lives and Leodale.
That is correct. Land of Leodale, I think is the full name.
Leodale's an isekai. Is Million Lives an isekai?
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. Isekai train.
So the story, it has a mouse score of 7.46, one of the few mouse scores that we actually have of the actual show. And that's a relatively decent score, actually. The story... Hey, Will, are you ready for this? I need you to imagine what I'm about to tell you. I actually wrote the plot synopsis myself.
So if there is a villainess, that means that it's an Otome game.
Wait, did you actually like read what I wrote?
No.
Okay. So
it's an Otome game because that's how most villainous shows are like based on, right?
And circle gets the square. Continue.
That's as far as I'll guess. I'm guessing then that was she a cancer patient or
circle gets the square again?
Okay.
Actually, it's just a mysterious terminal illness. They never specified.
They never say the word cancer, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But look, it's
where does the final boss then come into play?
Okay, so villainous isekais is somehow something all of a sudden I became super invested in, and therefore all of a sudden read a bunch, and now I'm well versed in it for some reason.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
I read like 6 villainous mangas right now. At least 6.
And is it a good subgenre? A good theme? Or is it,
I don't hate any of them.
Right, there you go.
There's like 7th Loop. There is All Routes Lead to Doom, the villainous isekai one. Then there's Final Boss, and then there's okay, fuck it.
So young MC girl, dies of a unknown terminal illness. Gets reincarnated.
Okay, so she did. It is an isekai because she was terminally ill.
Yep.
She gets not reincarnated though. She gets transported almost like into the memories and body of the villainess of this Otome game at the exact moment, which is also a very typical villainous isekai staple, where the engagement to the prince is annulled right at that moment because he is going to marry someone else. Because that person that the prince is going to marry is his true love, quote unquote, and the main character, who is actually the villainess, bullied her because she's jealous. And literally the moment of annulment of the engagement is when the story begins.
Wow, this sounds like a very salty anime.
By the way, that premise is literally the same for almost 90% of villains isekais.
But is that a bad thing?
It is not, because what this woman decides to do is, I'm in my... one of the things I love about villainous isekais is that they know exactly what is going on very fast. There's no like making sure about things. She's like, I played the living shit out of this Otome game. I know what the fuck is up. You're this and you're that. Oh, okay. Guess what? Well, I don't want to die because the villainess always dies. In the game, I play the main female character, but clearly she's standing right in front of me, so I'm not her. I'm the villainess. If the end of the world is brought by the demon prince becoming the demon king and scorning human beings, why don't I just marry him instead?
Good so far? I mean, it has a mouse score, but that's not indicative of anything really until it's fully done. But how did you feel after watching the first episode?
It's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. I think it would get a 7 out of 10. It is...
But people will still get a kick out of it, right?
You would get enjoyment out of it because the interactions between the characters are decent, for sure.
On to the next one, which also aired a couple days before recording. My Master Has No Tail, which is based on a manga of the same name by TNSK, The Story and Art, published in English by Kadensha, and produced by Leiden Films.
I watched the first episode.
I don't know shit about it.
Don't watch it.
I mean, the score on it right now is not great.
It's about a tanuki who...
There's a Rakugo in there as well?
Yes, because the tanuki girl wants to go to the starry-eyed city in feudal Japan because that's the time period, like Edo period type thing. And it's like, yo, I want to learn to be a human because I'm a tanuki. And then basically she falls in love with Rakugo and this Rakugo performer and decides to learn how to be a good performer in order to be a good human, in order to, like, trick everyone. The story that I don't think any of you guys should watch.
Yeah. Skip. Okay. On to one that I'm actually, both Jason and I are actually quite hyped about. Raven, Kokyu no Karasu, or Raven of the Inner Palace, which is based on a novel of the same name by Koko Shirakawa, who did the story. Published in English by Seven Seas Entertainment and produced by Bandai Namco Pictures. Huge conglomerate.
Shout outs to Haikyuu for making me realize Karasu means raven and crow. Because, like, when I saw that, I just immediately knew.
Well, there you go. Right? So,
but this is not about volleyball.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this is like a historical sort of like drama that was set in like old Imperial Japan, within a palace. Focusing on a special consort who, doesn't really serve the emperor. And there's also people that say that, she looks like an old woman. Some say she looks like a young girl.
Basically, rumors fly about this person.
It's a very mysterious story. And like when we watch the trailer, there wasn't a lot of story. I mean, most trailers don't really show too much story anyway. But what it did show, though, was very, very beautiful art and character design. Holy shit. I'm actually very interested. Because initially, all we ever saw was just... it was just like a pale woman with like a harisen or like a fan covering her face.
Right.
And then that was it. And then the trailer was similar to that, but with motion. But it was gorgeous.
I think there was some mysticism implied or involved. We don't know based on the trailer. One thing I could tell you, though, is the buildup of the main character, the female main character, in a short period of time was done in a way that was kind of anticipating. And then when I saw the actual like profile and face and character design of the female main character, it may sound like I'm being melodramatic because I am, but I was kind of like in awe, like, oh shit, she's fucking gorgeous.
I'm excited to watch
all
this
these
one.
colors are fucking gorgeous. So
whilst not knowing much about it, I want to know more about it.
For sure. I think this is one of those dark horse animes that...
Will it be an 8? Probably not, but will it be a strong 7? I would hope so.
No, I think there's a chance it could be an 8.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
I mean, it might not be known enough for enough people to give it a rating is what I'm more worried about.
Oh, no. I think it'll definitely get a rating, but whether or not it becomes relevant is a different issue entirely.
Okay. Next one, I've somehow gotten stronger when I improve my farm-related skills. Is a mundane-ass light novel title.
October 1st for both of these shows.
Yeah. So it started off as a regular novel series, then became a light novel in March 2017. It's also got a manga adaptation as well, and it is being produced by Studio ACAT to be premiering on, as Jason said, October 1st.
Well, what is this story about? There's no way I could know anything about the premise.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to read the title again just to make sure I fully understand what the story is going to be about.
Wait, there's no way you can do that. What kind of show is that?
Yeah. Anyways, all shits and giggles aside, this is going to be probably one of those real dry-ass series that I end up liking a lot.
Look, I think the trailer makes it look a bit more comical than the
music behind it definitely helps. Yeah.
Like, I understand, like, Realist Rebuild the Kingdom, how you're into it. Or, for example, what was the other one? The Nation Out of Debt one? Like, that one,
the Nation Out of Debt.
That one you like less so, but at least
still see the charm of it.
Yeah, and the charm and the dryness of it is something that I definitely appreciate. I still think to this day, and I won't stop talking about it. Accomplishments of the Duke's daughter, please. But okay. Okay, this guy uses his farm skills to do OP shit. Move on.
We'll be good. Okay. Next day, October
Whoa.
2nd. MSG, Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. They released episode 0, which is like a trailer episode, I think last week. It's on YouTube still. You can still legally watch it on YouTube.
3 weeks ago, by the way.
And
I guess
now-
it'll be 4 weeks now.
Okay. And then now, you can get around to watching the first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, which will feature the first female lead in franchise history.
Just so that we're clear, you can watch episode 0 in its entirety for free on the Gundam Info YouTube channel. That's their official Gundam channel.
8 types of subtitles to choose from as well.
Yeah, I looked at the Chinese, I looked at the English. They're pretty legit. They're like they're good.
So this is the first
Yep.
female lead for the franchise of Gundam, one of the longest running franchises of all time.
So episode 0 is a full-length episode that sets the stage for episode 1. So technically you don't have to watch episode 0, but by watching it, I managed to understand a lot of the vibe that they're going for and also the character design. So first things first.
Studio Sunrise consistent there. It's
Very pretty.
Sunrise and mechas, they go hand in hand.
Top notch, and it is really it is super sharp, and the colors are vivid where it needs to be, drab where it needs to be. Very impressive production. Okay.
One of the most important things for me as well, the music, really fucking good.
Orchestral, good. I wouldn't say great, but well,
What you would want from Gundam.
good enough for sure. That's not a knock. Okay. The female character angle thing. First off, the female character is a child in this one. So clearly in episode 1 is like, grown up, because it's very clear at the end of episode 0 what happens. First of all, you can look at episode 0 and probably all of The Witch from Mercury and go one of two ways. I am the latter. Some people will be the former, though, which is it's extremely pandering to have a very inclusive group of people. There is clearly a lesbian couple. There is multi-ethnic people. There is a high degree of female characters that you wouldn't see normally proportion-wise compared to other Mobile Suit Gundams. A lot of people feel like you're overdoing it. The way that I see it is, it's your first female main character. Just kind of lean into it, fine. And the characters are actually done pretty well. There's a lot of bionics and prosthetics, so extra plus points for you on that.
You weirdo.
Because I'm studying it. That's my job, dude. Or that was my job. And honestly, I'm okay because in space in the future, I would expect people to be inclusive and, everything mixed together. All right, now. The ending to episode 0 is extremely fucked up. And what I mean by fucked up, I mean like Iron Blood Orphan fucked up. Like,
Okay.
and like 00 fucked up. Like, it seems to me that since 00 and Iron Blood Orphans, even though I didn't watch pretty much any of Iron Blood Orphans, Gundam's being a less positive force is highly, in fact, explicitly implied here as a negative, but also potentially a saving force. It basically takes Evangelion.
Yep.
There's something about pilot sickness,
Lack of humanity.
lack of humanity, machines of war fight fire with fire,
What's white and what's black.
destroy all Gundams because Gundams are harming people.
Can we truly attain singularity when there are so many outliers in the system?
And since Gundam pilots also die from using the Gundam too much, then why can't we just get rid of Gundams?
So if you like 00, you like IBO, then Witch from Mercury should be right up your alley.
I was
then.
very impressed with episode 0 and just how fucked up the ending was. I cannot...
Would this be enough for you to get back into the Gundam franchise?
Yes, 100%. I will watch The Witch from Mercury. I showed the ending to my coworkers after work. They're just like, what the fuck happened to Gundam in a good way? They were like, what is this? Where's like the sword and stuff? They show up, but like, You have to watch it to understand, but yeah.
Yeah.
Super psyched.
Well, going into a show that neither of us are going to be watching, Beast Tamer, or Yusha Party was Beast Tamer.
You're the one who added this in. That's going to premiere on October 2nd. So, Will, why did you put this in here?
I thought it would be nice to have a harem series that's produced by EMT Squared, because that's what they do. That's about it, really. I mean, it looks cute, interesting. By interesting, it's just a harem, right? So, who knows? This could be another one of those high 6s, low 7s. It's probably going to be a mid 6, really. But I felt that it was... It's worth focusing on some of the more cultured stuff coming in this season, because this isn't the only harem series that's going to be showing up. I don't even know if it's a harem series, but it definitely looks like it should be from the trailer and also from the pictures that were showing
Cat girls show up. They form a contract.
It's a Beast Tamer, right? There's going to be
anamorphic. What?
Yeah.
What?
What do you expect? Okay. Moving on
trash?
Yeah, it will probably be trash.
Well, okay. How trashy, though, on the trashometer?
Flat 6 in terms of like a mouse score. Like basically, like it should have been a 7, but because there's enough, there's going to be some lolly shit in there too. You know that's going to happen.
But what is the trashometer?
It's above recycled trash and a bit under like when you have those waste bins outside and you have aircon dripping into it.
I would say 7 out of 10 trashiness.
That's what I'm going with there.
Yeah, I think
not
so
quite
too.
Landfill trash.
Well, if we go from one piece of trash to likely another piece of trash, we have management of Novice Alchemist on October 3rd. Based on the light novel of the same name by Fumi, who did the art, and Mizuho Itsuki, who did the story. Produced by Studio Engai, which does Uzaki. Engi is Uzaki-chan, Mob Otome game, and The Detective is Already Dead. And Dead on Arrival. Seriously. This trailer...
It looked meh.
It looked like at least with Beast Tamer, I could be like, yeah, there's some cultured shit in here. But with management of Novice Alchemist, I'll be like, guys, did you know that there was a show that aired recently called Parallel World Pharmacist? That's pretty good. You should check that out. Or The Saint's Magic is Omnipotent. That one's pretty good too.
Moving on to the next one, then Shinobi no Ittoki.
Oh, that reminds us, Will. This season has a high degree, I think a high amount of anime originals. And we have now ventured into our first anime original.
Right. This is going to be produced by Studio Troika, airing on October 4th. Focusing on the story of Ittoki Sakuraba, who is an ordinary boy from the Iga ninja clan. Guess what? He's not just any ninja. He's apparently the 19th heir of the Iga ninja clan.
He discovers it, and all of a sudden now he is in the middle of a battle between the Iga clan and the Koga clan.
And what's funny as well is that COVID definitely took care of this clan because the main female character is wearing a face mask.
You fucking idiot.
Kosetsu. Very, very aware that airborne diseases very much exist in this world.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Sure.
I don't know.
Like ninjas don't wear bandanas, you piece of shit. Look, Troika. Okay. With anime originals, if we do forecasts or previews, it's very hard to sort of know the direction without really knowing too much about even the source, because obviously there is no source here, so we only have the footage.
And looking from the trailers and the pictures that they have on now, it's, I mean, ninjas in modern day Japan.
It looks aight, but I do have a little bit of hope because Troika's previous works that are anime originals is Recreators and Aldnoah Zero, which I think you really like. Recreators, and Aldnoah Zero I heard was decent. So their anime original content should be okay.
Okay, then. Have you had enough of isekais?
No.
Yeah, never had enough of them, right? So, how about some more? Reincarnated as a Sword.
On October 5th.
Based on the light novel of the same name by Yu Tanaka, who did the story, and LLO, who did the art. Published in English, both the light novel and the manga by 7 Seas. The studio behind it will be C2C, who did Harukana Receive, Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena, and Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy.
All right.
It's already, well, I mean, it aired earlier in Japan.
Yeah, on some streaming platform or something. So, but for us, it would be on October 5th. I read the manga, the first volume, and watching the trailer for the anime, I have zero hope. The reason is because Reincarnated as a Sword, at least the manga that I read, was extremely dark in terms of tone and just grim and just slaves, people getting murdered, decapitated.
It looks very vanilla from the trailer.
The trailer looks
so
bad.
It doesn't have any of the tone you were mentioning.
Like, okay, I'll just spoil the first couple of pages, literally the first couple of pages of the manga. The female main character, who just so happens to be a cat girl, is running away from a slave wagon that she escaped out of because it went into an accident, and a monster shows up, and the slave driver decides to send all these children to die so he can run away. And it's brutal.
It didn't seem like that when watching the trailer.
It didn't seem like that in the trailer. It looks like the only thing that I could have given Reincarnated as a Sword a compliment, other than the sword concept is pretty funny. I'm very... Not that I was disappointed, but I was just like, oh, the thing that I thought would be good, you decide to take out to be generic. Fine.
Right. Well, you may watch it, right? You may watch it.
I mean, the Mal people have spoken, given it 7.15, so I'm not going to watch it.
Okay. Well, then the next one you're definitely not going to watch because it's Immoral Guild.
Listen, Will. Immoral Guild on October 5th is based off of the manga of the same name by Tachi Kawazoe and is published in English by Square Enix on Manga Up! ! Produced by Studio TNK, bro.
Who are TNK?
They did High School DxD before the studio switch, Seven Mortal Sins, I purposely add that one, and Redo of Healer, and School Days.
So you know where this is gonna go. This is so it's not an original. This is very much based off of an erotic comedy manga series that aired in that originally ran from 2017. Yeah, no, this is gonna be raunchy, edgy, immoral shit.
No, but I think it's not even going to have the same edginess of like School Days or Redo of Healer or Seven Mortal Sins.
Absolutely can't.
Or High School DxD. I just think this is going to be like, oh, you should have leaned more into the
It's going to be in that
stuff.
weird gray area again that we've had with those complaints about like either you go full blown out porn or you just don't do anything at all.
Do you think they will actually show stuff and have an uncensored version? They must, right?
They probably do. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but if they didn't, then it's just gonna look weird.
Even worse.
It will look weird.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I did say I was gonna put you on a timer for this one, but I'll give you the spotlight for this because we're gonna be talking about the Eminence in Shadow. October
5th, based on the light novel series of the same name by Tozai, who did the art, and Daisuke Aizawa, who did the story, published in English, the light novel, and the manga by Yen Press, produced by Studio Nexus. They did Chivalry of a Failed Knight, Darwin's Game, and Comics Girl.
So, why should people watch this shit?
Because it's funny as fuck.
Okay, move on to the next one.
Super meta, waifus everywhere.
So, I was looking through a lot of the groups and chat rooms on my anime list.
You did research for Eminence in Shadow?
There's a lot of people that are like, is this the Konosuba killer?
I don't think so, but I think...
Does it have that kind of high-level humor?
I think it's better than Konosuba, in my opinion. I think Konosuba is very crowd-pleasing, which in of itself is more accessible than Eminence in Shadow for sure, but I think Eminence in Shadow is more my brand of dumb funny because it's Shinobi, but he was right all along without knowing that he was right. Keep making quote-unquote mistakes or lapse in judgment when it was 5,000 IQ 5-head move.
So very much something that should be on people's radars if they're looking for a good comedy this season.
I think this would be the show that everyone is like, yo, did you check this out? I heard some things. And it turns out to be like...
The show that garners the most laughs?
High 7s. Easy.
All right, then. Okay, on to October 6th, now going into a couple more series. DIY, or Do It Yourself. Anime original produced by Pine Jack.
Fine, I'll do it then.
Yeah, do it yourself by watching Do It Yourself. The studio Pine Jam has also worked on Kageki Shoujo,
Good.
Gleipnir,
Kind of.
And Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible.
Which is a Jump Plus series that is very well known and popular.
It's just very, very straightforward show. It's cute girls doing cute things.
So what is it this time around, Will?
They're doing DIY projects. They're building furniture, little bookshelves and whatnot, different knickknacks you would use in like a design and technology lab.
So I will first tell you, I'm super excited about DIY.
I can't wait to see DIY because it's just, I mean, I'm starting to get into the CGT genre, and hey man, if I get to see, people building some IKEA furniture and being
Calyx?
cute doing that, yeah, I mean, like
I've put board games on there.
I've built many a Calyx in my life, and yeah, it's that's just basically it.
Do you know how happy I was when the trailer actually focused less on the girls doing cutesy things and the girls literally building shit, using tools, planning stuff? I was just like, they get it.
Art style, what do you think?
So the art style is a bit more
It's interesting, right?
interesting, like eccentric for sure. It's a bit more not cheap.
It's a bit more sketchy.
Yes,
I mean, yeah,
But I think the background, which has a more like watercolor,
more pastel, right?
I love it. I like that. I think with cute girls doing cute things,
You tend to want to go for more like softer elements, whether it's by color, by tone, by like shading in terms of the characters.
yeah, you'll always get the same character tropes, but the difference to me is whether or not the group can gel well in terms of charisma and the VAs. That is to me one of the quintessential things that can make or break any cute girls doing cute things.
And we're going to find out in a couple days. So yeah, that's one thing I'm looking forward to. The next one that's also airing on October 6th, Princess of the Bibliophile, a light novel based on the same name, published in English, both the manga and a light novel by J Novel Club. Interestingly enough, this one is produced by Madhouse.
The story is relatively straightforward, and I knew this because I actually read the manga. It's about a bookworm girl who just wants to read books all day, and no, it's not bookworm isekai.
That's what, actually, when I was looking at the trailers, like this feels like a sentence of a bookworm.
So in order for her to have a chilled out life in her library, she decided to make a deal with a prince and being like, look, let's say we're marrying each other, but we kind of do our own thing. Like, and we're just saying it in name. But basically the prince is like, yeah, we good. We do that. And then over time, the prince likes another girl, and then the engagement starts falling apart, and she wants to still read books. And she also starts developing feelings for him.
Worthy of a watch?
It looks very shoujo-esque. Like, the eyes and the color and the whole, like, frill, like the dress frills and the hair frills.
Well, we should be able to get some general appreciation for it. Whether it does well or not is a different thing.
I would say, like, 7.4,
Low 7?
7.5. Yeah.
On to the next day then, October 7th. This is the one that I think we both really want to talk about. Akiba Maid War.
Hey, I wanted to talk about, and then you...
Well, now I want to talk about it too. Anime original produced by PA Works in collaboration with Psy Games.
They did the Naruto games? No, that's Cyberpunk.
I don't remember what Psy Games did. But after watching the trailer, because I watched one trailer,
And
you watched the other trailer as well.
And I told you to watch the other trailer.
And then now I'm pretty hyped about it too, because this is essentially Degenerate Blend S.
So we don't really know what's it about, other than it's an anime original and involves maid cafes and obviously a cast of characters. And when I mean by cast of characters, I mean cast of characters all in caps, because it sounds like some of these characters are rather fucking hilarious, it seems. At least that's the vibe that they're going for.
I'm like cautiously excited for it, because I know it could easily like just like burn and crash, but it also seems to have the hallmarks of being a pretty good, if not slightly degenerate kind of
I think
cute girls doing cute things.
I do think it will be degenerate. Don't you think that trailer is pretty funny though?
I loved it. It was great.
Okay.
Now, October 9th, going into Blue Lock. Now, I think we've already talked a lot about Blue Lock, but I'll give you a minute to tell people why they should watch Blue Lock.
Studio 8-Bit, who did Slimy Sekai, Irregular Magic High School, and Fruits of Grisaya, are doing Blue Lock. Blue Lock being the Hunger Games, Striker, Battle Royale, that is rather kinetic, very unrealistic in terms of Aoashi standards, but very fun in terms of Kuroko no Basuke standards. That's really it. The manga is pretty good. And Hunger Games Battle Royale Soccer, or as they say, football.
Oh, you did that in 30 seconds. Pretty good. Okay. Yeah, go check it. Okay, so my 2 cents on this. After watching the recent trailers that came out for it, yeah.
Which one?
It was
it the character spotlight one, or
no? It was the one where that one I did see. It was the one that came out. I think it's PV2, whatever it was called. Where it's essentially showing some of the motion sequences of them doing skills and shooting and all that.
It looks kinetic though.
It looks pretty good. And for a Studio 8-bit that I didn't really accustomed to doing a lot of fluid animation, it did pretty well. I would say that.
Last thing I will say is the characters are meant to have their own archetype, like the funny monkey acrobatic one and so on and so forth. It's super apparent. So if you like that, good on you.
Bocchi Rock, based on a 4-koma manga by the same name. And finally, it's been a while since we've seen anything produced by Cloverworks.
Wait, but K-On! Was made by Kyoto Animation,
It
though.
already exists. There's already cute girls doing rock band shit. What's so different about this? Well, I don't care.
And Bocchi the Rock is essentially K-On! It looks exactly like the same story beats.
It'll be good though, right? Maybe.
I thought the music was decent, actually. The rock music was decent.
And it's also Cloverworks too, so it will at least look really good.
There is a lot of color hair.
I'm probably watching this. I probably will be checking it out.
I think the character dynamics in the trailer also makes it look very cutesy, which is what you want.
Now the one I'm actually kind of interested in, because its story is a bit weird, is More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers, airing on October 9th, based on a manga of the same name by Yuki Kanamura, who did both the story and the art. Funny enough, it's produced by Studio Mother, who's only really done Arifureta stuff as their main accredited works. So the manga mal score, pretty decent, 7.55. Synopsis: high school kids about to undertake a project in which they're trying to figure out parenting styles, parenting customs, techniques to becoming good parents. So
techniques, you say?
Yeah,
I see.
It's this could. I mean, if you watch the trailers, there's definitely a lot of saucy stuff in there. This could be another one of those really trashy shows that airs this season, or it could be like a little hidden gem in terms of risque, ecchi humor.
Because guess what? We are friends with benefits, so
we are.
I mean, we are benefiting from our friendship. That is correct.
Yes,
but we are not lovers because we don't love each other. I mean, no homo, right? But what's your take on this?
I'll watch it. I will watch it too, just because I want to see how much of a train wreck it could potentially be. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if I actually enjoy it. Okay.
I mean, I'll watch it as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
why not? Just give it a shot, right? Okay. Renai Flops, or Love Flops, airing October 12th. Anime original, the director being Nobuyushi Nakayama, who did Smile Down the Runway, Happy Sugar Life, and Are You Lost? And then it's a rookie screenwriter and scriptwriter, Ryu Yasumoto. Now, I think the reason why this got a lot of hype in some internet circles is because it's done by Passione, who's done Citrus, Higurashi, Miroku-chan, and some of the other.
It looks fucking terrible.
Yeah. It looks garbage, but
it basically
it's Passione, though.
It's basically, what happens when literal people confess to you in a day, multiple people? What would you do? I'm like, oh wow, very, very mind bending. When all the characters are also not interesting whatsoever.
Yep. Now we're getting into some stuff that we don't really need to say all that much, because Chainsaw Man's coming out October 12th.
No, look. I don't know what this Chainsaw Man thing is. I mean, I guess it's based on a manga.
Fujimoto, part 1, part 2 of the anime.
Who's this person? I don't ever heard of him. Viz Media? Who's Viz Media?
Mappa Studio.
What kind of Mappa? What kind of name is that? Jump Plus?
Jokes aside, Chainsaw Man. We know you're going to watch it anyway. You don't need to say anything else.
We both love the manga. No, I think everyone will not shut up about Chainsaw Man, basically. Yep. This is going to happen.
Now, a remake of a classic manga series and anime series, Urusei Yatsura, airing on October 14th, based on the same manga, the same name, by Rumiko Takahashi, published in Shonen Sunday from 1978
to 1987, dude.
The thing I would pretty excited about it is it's David Productions. They're the studio that's producing it.
And it'll have 46 episodes.
So we watched the trailer for it, and I also then watched like some of the clips from like the original series. It looks very, very similar. I like that they capture a lot of the original aesthetic from the main series, and I don't know much about Urusei Yatsura other than it is like a timeless piece. People know
Alien
about
girls.
This. Yeah, and like leopard
Print.
leotards.
Yeah. A girl with green hair. You will definitely know what we're talking about if you've consumed enough anime at some point.
Now, the one that's a bit weird, we do kind of maybe cover it a bit. I don't know.
Real quick, Yatsura.
Yep.
I think it's not doing it any favors by basically remastering the classic look, because if
you think it's too old for this current day and age?
No, I think it looks great if that's the aesthetic you're going for, which they are. I just think it won't capture a lot of people. I think David Productions did a very fine job, just like it did with Fire Force. But then they are not thinking about whether or not it can sustain in the long term. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, it's revamping, remaking an old series. I guess it just wants to capture some of the original style. Who knows if it works?
One of my friends literally said, "Oh, they upscaled it." I was like, "No, this is 2022 remake," and he's just looked at me like, "Don't fuck with me, Jason." I was like, "Oh boy."
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, like if you've watched and read Urusei Yatsura from the past, then maybe you'd be pleasantly surprised or let down. Who knows? I haven't watched a lot of it from before. I'm going in completely blind.
All right. Now, the Halloween season is in the month of October. Will and I love horror movies. Halloween is one of my favorite.
Unfortunately, Uzumaki, which was supposed to air this season, is no longer going to be coming out this season because of constant delays. Instead, we're going to be getting a different Halloween Toonami production, which is Housing Complex C, or C Danchi, anime original.
By the time this episode airs, you will have seen the first episode, or it will be available.
Don't know much about it.
All I know, it involves a housing complex. There's a lot of screams, a lot of very like creepy kind of things, which is not that creepy. But
I'll tell you this: it gave me vibes of Summertime Render because of a lot of the beachfront, a lot of the waterfront shots they had in the trailer. Not to say it's going to amount to anything similar to Summertime Render, but only time will tell. The last thing we will talk about within this this fall preview is Four People and Their Respective Lives, based on the manga of the same name by Kashihara Madoka, who did both the story and the art, and produced by Studio Flad, previously known for working on Banished from the Hero's Party, I Walk Alone, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, Banished from the Hero's Party. Yeah. I have to say, this premise is very simple, which is a story of four friends who each have a secret that they don't share with each other.
Which is funny because in the trailers, they literally show the secrets right away.
And should we say what those four things are? It's in the trailer.
Ninja, psychic, there was something crossdresser, and then the fourth one I forgot.
Alien,
yeah, that's it. Alien.
Right. And apparently
that's the thing.
For some reason, I just somehow is like rather optimistic about it for no reason whatsoever. I guess the trailer was just kind of captivating, and the poster of like the rip mark and then the Two-Face, I thought was okay.
Perhaps. Okay.
All right.
Now we get into the final segment. I know this has been going on for quite a while, but we'll try and wrap this up in 10 minutes or less. We are now going into the new betting system of our fall seasonal episode. Now, before, what we've done was basically predict how many 8.00 shows there are in each season. This time around, we're doing it different because with fall, with September, it also brings in the time to do fantasy. So, fantasy football, fantasy hockey, baseball, basketball, and Mal's been doing fantasy anime as well. We're going to be doing our own version, the GAP Fantasy Anime Draft of Fall 2022 starts right now. So to give you a little bit of the sort of rules breakdown, it will be done in a snake draft format depending on who gets first pick. Jason's already writing up the rules in terms of who gets first pick. So there are two different selections. There are series that have 100,000 members and above on my anime list, and then there's a section of series that have 25,000 to 100,000 members. We are allowed each to have two series from the 100K and up, and 4 series from the series that have 25 to 100k members. So to give you a quick breakdown of that, for 100 members and up, that is Chainsaw Man, Mob Psycho 3, Spy X Family Part 2, My Hero Academia 6th Season, Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, To Your Eternity 2nd Season, Blue Lock, and Uzaki-chan Double. In the second section of 25k to 100k members, Eminence and Shadow, Iruma-kun 3rd Season, Urusei Yatsura 2022, Reincarnated as a Sword, Canned Coal, Golden Kamuy 4th Season, Shinobi no Ittoki, I'm the Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss, More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers, and Do It Yourself. So, Jason, how are we going to decide who gets first pick?
Classic Japanese game, bro. Pick a path.
Oh, not this one.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. I will pick that path.
This path?
Yes.
Okay, so
no, this one.
This one? Okay,
that one, yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Basically, Jason's doing that little ladder system where you have lines, you go down, you hit a line, you move to the next line over.
2.
Okay, perfect. Jason will be the first pick for this fall seasonal anime draft. So, up on the board, he's got 2 to pick from the 100k and up, and 4 to pick from 25k to 100k members. Your first pick goes to
Eminence and Shadow.
Wow. Oh, okay. Interesting one. I was actually going to be taking that one if you went for something else first. Okay, all right. My 2 picks.
Wait, 2?
Yeah, because it will be me pick 1, and then you pick 1, I pick 2, and then you pick 2.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Spy X Family Part 2,
Okay.
Mob Psycho 3.
Okay.
So just to let you everyone know, I've already picked 2 from my 100k and up. Jason's picked 1 from his 25k to 100k, so I can no longer pick any from the top 100k, but Jason's free to pick anything he wants for now.
So you pick Spy and which one?
Mob Psycho.
Okay. My 2 picks, right? That's correct?
Yep.
2 picks would be Iruma-kun and also Golden Kamuy.
Ah, god damn it. Oh, you took it. Okay. Then I will go with Urusei Yatsura.
Mm-hmm.
More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers.
Okay. And then I picked 2 more, right?
You have 3 right now, right?
Yeah.
You pick 2 more, I pick 2 more, and then you pick one last one.
Okay. Let me see. DIY and Chainsaw Man.
I'll go with More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers.
You already said that.
I'll go with Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss.
Okay.
And I guess I'm going to have to go with...
Shh. Come on. Can't Cole?
Reincarnated as a Sword.
Okay.
Then you have one last pick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
You just picked Chainsaw Man, so the last one you have is to pick from the top 100k and up.
Yep.
Go ahead, just say To Your Eternity. Because you know that one's going to be solid.
Yeah.
That's at least an 8.4.
Yes.
There you go.
I want to say Blue Lock, but really...
It's a bit iffy.
It's a bit iffy. To Your Eternity is the more critical darling choice.
The thing is, though, do you think Studio Drive would be able to keep it up?
That's why I'm like really concerned, right? It's like...
It was a good choice for you to pick some of the 25k to 100k ones first, because I really wanted to get Eminence and Shadow and Golden Kamuy.
Yep.
But
you could have gone Golden Kamuy.
Yeah, I could have, but I wanted to lock down the top 100 ones first, because I'm very certain that Mob Psycho and Spy X Family are going to be bangers.
I know Chainsaw Man's going. You see, sorry. I should just lock it in, right? I'll say Blue Lock.
You're going to take Blue Lock?
I'll take Blue Lock over To Your Eternity. So, I have Blue Lock, Chainsaw Man, DIY, Golden Kamuy Season 4, Iruma-kun Season 3, Eminence and Shadow.
I've got Urusei Yatsura, Reincarnated as a Sword. I've got Villainess, Taming the Last Boss, More Than a Married Couple. I've also then got Mob Psycho and Spy X Family Part 2.
Okay.
So what happens then is we will collate the raw scores of each of our series, 6 and 6, average it out, and whichever is the higher number wins the fall season 2022. And as expected, Jason's probably going to win because I just feel that Golden Kamuy is like the one that will help you. I know it's going to do quite well. It's guaranteed to be at least an 8.2 because I feel enough people like about it. And for some of the stuff I have, like Reincarnated as a Sword, like Villainess, More Than a Married Couple but Not Lovers, those are going to be kind of like what might drag me down. I'm hoping that the scores from Spy X as well as from Mob Psycho will be the ones to help push my scores further up.
In my opinion, do you know where you made your mistake?
What?
You did your first 2 100K picks because essentially when you did that, you couldn't touch any of it anymore.
Yeah, but I wanted to lock down 2 of the things. I wanted to lock down the ones I think that are going to be guaranteed 8.5s and up.
And those are rock solid picks, 100%. It's just that there are so many of them
what it makes then is I'm too top heavy. Yeah. I'm really hoping that those 2 are high enough to be able to push the scores of my other ones.
Which, to be fair, those 2 have a very solid chance of doing so.
Yep.
And that.
Do you think you might regret picking Blue Lock over To Your Eternity, or do you feel it's like the verdict is like so like out there that you literally can't tell which one's gonna be better?
I think Blue Lock is new. Blue Lock has hype. To Your Eternity.
To be fair, Blue Lock the trailer does look pretty good. So.
And a lot of people like soccer or football, and World Cup is happening.
And also because you're riding off of the Aowashi wave as well. Maybe there's enough people wanting to go into Blue Lock.
And I read the manga, so I do know both of them. Yeah, I would go with Blue Lock.
Not bad. Okay. All right. So then.
But if Utada Hikaru does the OP for To Your Eternity 2, it's game over for me. You know that.
By the way, I also didn't realize that Akira Yamaoka does the music for Edgerunner. Do you know who Akira Yamaoka is? He did the soundtracks for Silent Hill.
What?
That's why the music is really damn good.
Well, not just that, but it's not scary, atmospheric music.
He's
actually straight bumping.
Actually, if you listen to the other soundtracks he does for like the alt series of Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 4, it's very rock heavy. It's actually like that's why when I was listening to it, it's like, oh, this is a good pick.
Hot Silent Hill take. I thought The Room was okay.
The story for The Room was great. The execution in terms of like the tank style controls.
I like the concept of being claustrophobic in that room.
I actually thought the story for The Room was terrifying. More so than
Silent Hill 4.
The Room was terrifying. More so than Silent Hill 3. Silent Hill 3, I think if it was the first 4 that was done by Team Silent, I think that Silent Hill 3 was the worst.
But Siren is dope though, right?
I love Siren. Siren is terrifying.
Okay. And you may be terrified that this is the end of this episode, but fear not, because if you want to, you can always reach us through our email, gapalette.com. That's GAPALETTE @gmail.com. All lowercase, all one word. Our Twitter handle, @PaletteGood, capital P and capital G, all one word. Or through our GAP Discord server using the invite link that is in the show description. We have a website, fret not. I will tell you right now, the URL is www.goodanimepalette.com, all lowercase, all one word. I might have said 4 W's there, my bad. The intro music for our episode is Ninth Power by Henyo. Our break music is Salamanca by Sarah the Instrumentalist. And our outro music is Golden Rules by Luax. You can support the music artists that we feature by listening to them on Spotify, Apple Music, and other various music listening platforms. And our royalty-free music was provided by Epidemic Sound. And if you're interested, you can sign up using our referral link in the show description to get 10% discount on your first 12 months and the first 30 days of your subscription for free. But remember, terms and conditions apply.
I'm very excited to see how this draft turns out.
Yeah, I think now that we have done the forecast, I would say that we need to, if we're going to continue it or incorporate it, we will need to tune it just ever so slightly. But I think more or less, I seem to be pretty confident in our takes.
Yeah, I think that...
I mean, with anime originals, there's no way to know,
There's
really.
enough out there for us to at least get like a good gist of how we'll perceive these shows and whether or not, like, I mean, it's the same way when like we actually watch these series and give our two takes to the listeners. What we say may not apply to your appreciation for certain series, but at the very least, it gives you a good base of, hey, someone said this is that, someone said that is this, and then you can then put together those two arguments together and see whether it fits your own idea.
I just can't wait to listen to past me in the future to be like, bro, more than a married couple meant less than lovers. I fucked up there, Will.
Or maybe the fact that for me it was like I put too much weight on Mob Psycho or on Flax Family. Who knows? I'm confident. What did you think about the draft format this time around compared to doing?
Okay, what do you think of my determination?
I think you've got something.
No, here. What do you think of this?
That's fine too. That's
because
completely fine.
I classic Japanese style, right?
Yeah. I think you've got some incredibly solid picks in that you're guaranteed to have at least a 7.5 average.
I think like you will be highs and lows and then it averages.
Yeah.
Mines will be
consistent,
like
true,
above
right?
average, below average, and then it gets average. So like more or less.
Like looking at your list, it's very clear that Chainsaw Man is probably going to be the highest ranking one, but Golden Kamuy will definitely be quite high up there as well.
I do think DIY and Eminence could really fuck me. I think Iruma-kun and Golden Kamuy is pretty safe. I think Blue Lock is safer.
You know Iruma-kun's a 7.9 or an 8, right? Golden Kamuy is an 8.1, 8.2. And then Chainsaw Man could be anywhere from a 7.9 through to an 8.8.
I do think in the future we should try to, if possible, incorporate the popularity rank instead.
We can try and find ways.
Choose either or kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's for another day. Thank you very much for listening. We have gone on for quite a bit, and we have done a new seasonal kind of format. We hope you like it, and if you don't, well, let us know. If you do like it, also let us know.
We're doing it basically because it's fantasy football season, so.
Yeah, also, Will has commitments, and we always want to prove to each other that we're always right and never wrong.
But at the end of the day, it's all about anime and manga. So it doesn't matter if we win or not, anime and manga will win.
Well, and guess what? If you have 1 million followers and the 5 characters you want to show...
Okay, I'll say this. If you win...
Hey, where's the female representation between us, bro?
If one of us wins, we'll post on our Twitter the main characters of the series and then say this is the winner for this fall season.
Yeah, not like anybody would give a shit.
No.
But yeah, we should do that just to lean into that.
We've got followers. We got some.
Some. Better than none.
Yeah.
All right, peace out.
Take care.